chemistry this week and making sure that everyone in our organization is aligned with the same vision. That is Dan Campbell. As he assembles his coaching staff and works with Brad on evaluating our roster, his commitment to helping drive home our culture will be unwavering. He will be a positive figure in our community, for our loyal fans, for all of you in the media, and for our legends. And what better person to lead this organization than someone who played here between the white lines here in Detroit. Dan has a vision, and one that I'm excited to let him share with you in a few minutes. But before we take questions, I will turn it over to Rod Wood for some additional remarks about Dan. I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, thanks, Sheila. As I said on Tuesday, I want to continue to thank Mike Disner and Chris Spielman for their assistance and guidance through our search process. We were asked on Tuesday when we had Brad's press conference about his involvement in the head coaching search. And as I said then, he was supportive and aware of what we were going to end up doing. Once we had settled on Brad, we put him in touch with our finalist. He had numerous phone calls with several coaches, did his own research, and came to the same conclusion that we had. And Campbell should be the next head coach of the Detroit Lions. Well, Dan's only been in the building for a day. He and Brad are already hard at work on assembling a coaching staff, evaluating our team, preparing for free agency and the draft. And I think you'll hear more about that from Dan in a minute. During Brad's press conference, I highlighted several of the criteria that we had developed when we were searching for a general manager. A lot of the criteria is similar for our head coaching search: culture, self-awareness, teamwork. But I want to share a few of the specific criteria that we identified and what we were looking for in our next head coach.
My bad, y'all.
First,
I'm back.
a leader of men, someone who can command the room and the attention of the entire team. A temperament to handle the grinds of an NFL season, dealing with losses, injuries, and outside distractions. A positive voice for the entire organization with the media, the league, colleges, staff, and our fans. And the ability to assemble an excellent staff.
Archie.
Dan checked every box. Also, during our general manager interviews, we were asking each candidate to name head coaches that they would consider part of their list if they were to make a choice. And Dan showed up on numerous lists with candidates that we talked to.
Wow.
I spoke at length with Mickey Loomis, the general manager of the New Orleans Saints, and other members of the Saints front office about Dan. Chris spoke to Coach Payton, and we also heard from current and former players, staff, and coaches that had worked with Dan, and the same feedback came back over and over and over. Dan's a leader and will be an excellent head coach. We're going to introduce him to you in a few minutes, but before we do, Sheila and I will take a few questions.
Okay, Mike O'Hara, first question.
Yeah, Sheila, this is similar to the question you asked about Brad, but when you had your first conversation with Dan, what stood out to you? I think you said wow with Brad. Was there another wow available?
There was kind of another wow, not to sound like a broken record, but Dan stood out. I mean, actually, he sent us a book ahead of time with just his ideas and
baby.
philosophy.
Speak easy, baby.
If he were to become the head coach, what would he do? And literally, I read his statement on culture and leadership, and it was like he'd read our minds. Really? Did someone tell him what to say before? He was amazing. And wait till you talk to him. You'll see what I'm saying. He stood out. He still stands out. It's amazingly exciting. He's terrific.
Tim Twentyman.
This is for both Mrs. Hamp and Rod, if you guys want to comment. But Brad has said that, Dan has said that.
Tim 20 in the flesh. What up, though?
It's all about building relationships. Never asked a coach player to do anything he hasn't before. How much of him being a former player, having been through it, was attractive in this process as well?
Wow, turn your notifications off, Dan.
Well, should I take a shot, Rod? You can go right ahead. I was just going to say, it's obvious that Dan, I think the players are just going to love him. They'll respect him. He played. I think his presence in the locker room is going to be incredible. And I think having played the game does make a difference. I think, players will respect what he's saying because they know that he's been there. He's done it. So, yes, I think it's definitely a positive factor.
Yeah, Tim, I would echo that. And I think in addition to all of that, the fact that he played here and he wanted to be a Detroit Lion.
Dave Burkett.
Hi, Rod, Sheila. It's good to see you both. I know you addressed this a little bit the other day, how you pick, head coach and GM, and everyone's agreeable and on the same page. And Sheila, you just mentioned collaboration earlier, but I guess we saw a couple years ago when Bob was brought in and he was given a coach that wasn't necessarily his selection, and Jim Caldwell, how that worked out, how quick he was to get rid of him. Basically, first chance he had. Why would this be different? Why are you so confident this union will work?
Well, all I can say is I'm confident we have two terrific men. They're
Sheila want to jump up on it.
incredibly smart, articulate in what they're looking for in our team. They're both winners. I think they speak the same language, and I think it's going to be an awesome relationship. It already is, and they hadn't really known each other. So I think this is going to be just great, really great. Rod?
Yeah, Dave, I would just say, as I said in my opening comments, we did have Brad involved kind of behind the scenes in this. So his voice was listened to, and I would say it was impactful when he came to the same conclusion that we did, that Dan should be our head coach. And it may have been an odd process, but I think it resulted in an outstanding result.
And second question, if I can just sneak a second one in. Did you make an offer to Matt Campbell, I guess, to be a head coach before settling on Dan, before hiring Dan? I shouldn't say settling, before hiring Dan. And how would you characterize your interest in Matt and other college coaches?
I'll
Matt
take
Campbell.
that one. I'm not going to comment on any college coaches. I think I've talked to you that respect their current position and recruiting. I'm not going to say whether we interviewed a college coach or whether we didn't, and whether we extended an offer. I'll just leave it at no comment on any college coaches.
Okay, thank you.
Justin Rogers.
Sheila and Rod.
This
One
guy
of the
just
things
woke
you
up like
list
me.
In the characteristics you're looking for in a head coach is anything X's and O's, schematics. I think we realize a head coach is more of a CEO and a culture setter. But what did Dan share with you in the interview process about building a staff that gives you confidence that maybe he can fill the gap there in a perceived weakness of his own?
I'll take this first, Sheila. First of all, he listed the types of coaches and the specific coaches that he would be interested in assembling on his staff. And I think in addition to that, maybe the most impactful thing to me was when I talked to Mickey Loomis.
Sorry, I have to share the link a little bit.
Mickey about that. And he said, Dan is the kind of head coach that coaches are going to run to Detroit and want to be on his staff. He will attract people because they'll want to work with him.
Focus happening
Dan
here.
is, as I mentioned, extremely smart. He knows, I think very smart people realize not, their weaknesses and where they need to fill in. And Dan knows, that he wants to get, strong coordinators, and he's going to.
And then one more from me. With the 6-year contract, is that more of an shifting industry standard, or is that a commitment in
Or is
what
that
you
a
see
high
in
decision?
Dan and what he is selling you on what he's trying to build here?
I'm not going to comment on Dan's contract or anybody else's contract. I know there's speculation out there about it, but I'm not going to confirm or deny how long the contract is, and that's a private matter between Dan and the Lions. But I'm not going to comment on the length of it.
Mikey.
Hi, Sheila. Hi, Rod. You guys interviewed 3 different candidates from the Saints organization in the GM position and the head coaching position.
This guy's in Ferndale.
I'm curious to hear what attracted you to that organization, or maybe how it's run, and what you heard in your interactions with that organization about Dan that really put you on him.
Do you want me to take that, Sheila?
Sure, I'll fill in.
Well, we weren't necessarily attracted to the Saints organization. We were attracted to the individuals who worked there, and we'd heard great things about each of them individually. Obviously, their success recently speaks for itself, and all 3 of those individuals were part of that success. But we were more interested in the individuals as opposed to going to one particular organization. I will tell you, in the interviews with the 2 general manager candidates, their first choice for head coach, if they were to be our general manager, was Dan Campbell.
And I'd just like to add, Rod's right. We weren't targeting New Orleans as an organization to go after their people.
Hey, New Orleans is
We
lit
went
though. I ain't gonna
after,
lie.
or wanted to interview the best people we thought for the job. And but I must say, after interviewing the two general manager candidates and Dan, a lot of respect for the New Orleans organization. I mean, they really do things well, and they obviously have terrific people.
And just one quick follow-up from me, if I may. You both had mentioned Dan's experience within your organization as a player and how that was an upside for him. I'm just curious to hear maybe some specifics about what you heard about his time in Detroit, or him, the prospects of him coming back, why that was maybe attractive to you guys.
Well, I'll let Dan tell you himself, because he can tell you in no uncertain words how much he loved Detroit. He loved being here. His
For real?
family, he said he admits when, he was coming here in the first place, he wasn't too sure. But then once he got here, he said it's the best place he's ever been. He just loves it. And he really, really wants to be here, which is so exciting. And I think he really understands the city. He understands our fans. He's going to understand you guys and all the things we've been through. And he's
What do you mean,
determined
you
to
guys?
bring us all a winner and a new pride for Detroit.
Chris Burke.
Morning, Sheila. Good morning, Rod. Thanks for doing this again. You mentioned how unique this process was and that Brad kind of looped in at the end of the coaching search there. I was wondering if you could maybe go back to the start of the coach and GM search a little bit and just shed some light on how you built out the initial list of candidates, because I know you mentioned the other day that Brad wasn't even necessarily on that initial list. So I was just curious if that was all in-house, if you waited till Chris came on to build that out, if you reached out to people. I don't know if you could shed any light there.
I'll take that, Chris, then Sheila can jump in. We've been accumulating names for both general managers and head
Damn,
coaches.
I'm
and then
sorry. I
doing a
thought
lot
Dan
of
Campbell was going to be
external
on already.
double checking of our names with any number of people, teams, people at the league office, members.
Archie, can you hear the audio
media,
from him too?
coaches, etc., and kept refining the list and restacking it. I think I said that the other day to determine who were the top candidates. And then as we got into the interviews, we were asking every candidate, who do you see as a head coach you could work with, and who do you see as a general manager you could work with? And a lot of the same names kept coming up, and they were the names that were on our list. And so the process just kept getting more and more refined and better as we went along. And it led us to the two gentlemen that are joining the organization this week.
I'd also say that, we had our list, as Rod said, the list kept being refined and changed. And that was partially because we had, eventually Chris and Mike Disner did a lot of research on candidates. So, we knew a lot about these guys before we even, got to the Zoom call. And, a lot of cross-referencing, a lot of just, checking with, colleagues of theirs. And so it wasn't just like, oh, here's a blind list, we're going after it. There was a lot that went into it in the front end, which I think made our process great. I mean, that's when I talked the other day about, on the very front end, we talked about exactly what we were looking for. And, we have a signed piece of paper that we all signed that said the characteristics of leadership, culture builder, et cetera. So, we all the work we did on the front end, I think really paid off in the end.
We're going to go two more, Michael Rothstein, then Larry Lage.
Hi, Rod, Sheila. I've got two for you. The first is, after the last search for Matt Patricia, what did you learn background check wise, and what did you do differently background check wise in this search?
I'll take that. I mean, obviously, I know what you're getting at. I'm not going to comment on what happened with Matt, but we did very thorough background checks. Certainly talked to everybody that we could find that had worked with, coached with, played with the individuals that we were getting serious about. And then we talked directly to each candidate about any item that we wanted to bring up. I think, you always are learning from everything, and hopefully we did this process better than we did the last process, and it's going to result in a better result.
And Sheila, this question is for you because I don't think anyone's really asked you about this directly, but the rift with Calvin Johnson currently within the organization.
Ooh.
What is your stance on it, and why? I guess why
spot.
do you feel like this? Well, I guess why was the organization why did the organization decide to ask Calvin for money back, and would they consider giving him money back to repair that rift?
Well, I'm not going to go into the money issue, but I hope we can repair things with Calvin Johnson. He was obviously, an amazing player for us.
To be fair, that was before he got there too.
We're going to continue to reach out to him and hope that, we can repair things, because I think it's important that, he come back into the Lions family. We'd love it if he could, if he will. So, and we are 100% behind him for his Hall of Fame ballots, and hope that, he gets it this time. He was a great player and a terrific person. And, we'd love to have him back with us and working with us and helping us with, everything.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Larry, last one.
Sheila, clearly the organization showed a commitment to diversity, hiring Brad Holmes. But I wanted to get your response to Rod Graves of the Fritz Pollard Alliance, who said it's mind-boggling, the continued trend of NFL teams hiring white coaches.
Well,
What?
I think,
Wait, what?
I can't really comment on what other teams have done or not done, but
I missed that question.
I think
It threw me
you're
off.
looking for a coach, you're looking for the best candidates or the best fit for your organization. And I think everyone goes in colorblind. Honestly, I do think the league, and I think everyone's aware, can do a better job of creating a pipeline and teaching and developing and working with diverse candidates that, but I think it's something, I think the league can do a lot better at. And I think that everyone's aware of it and trying hard, but it's, it is kind of what it is right now. So.
Okay, thank
Rod,
you.
do you have anything to say to that?
No, I would just say, Larry, I understand the question. Rod was part of our process. We were consulting with him throughout our process. And I would say to Rod Graves' credit, he will give you very candid feedback about every candidate, regardless of, whether they're a diverse candidate or not. And we took his counsel, and obviously we were trying to find the best two people for our organization. And I'm very confident that we did.
Man, that's a wild question.
Okay, thank you, Rod. Thank you, Sheila.
And
Everyone,
thank you.
we're going to bring up Dan.
Let's go! I'm pumped. If I'm not ready to run through a fucking wall by the end of this presser, I'm gonna be the presser. You know what I'm saying? Shit. No, I'm excited, man. I hope it muted the vibe for you guys too. I'm pumped. I hope this dude's a real deal. Fuck, man. It's not even the end of the season. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid already, but I just like that we changed from what it was, man. I'm keeping it real. I'm allowed to be happy. I'm a fan of the damn team. But here comes the damn man, and I got to unmute him. My bad.
So you may get a couple of things where I'm completely out of the screen because I'm moving. I'll do my best. But I'd say this first, just in regards to, the head coach search, how I ended up here. One of the things would be that I told my agent, Rick Smith, I said, make sure that they think I'm Matt Campbell. So I think that's how this has really worked out great for me. So
yeah,
now I'm in the seat.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Campbell. And, but I do know this, you can't go wrong with a Campbell. Listen, I need to thank a lot of people here first. Look, I'm excited to be here beyond belief. I'm excited. This is one of those jobs that I identified. I told my agent, whatever you have to do to get me in front of Sheila and Rod, please do. When this became available, because I played here, I know the city, I know what it's about, I know the people, and it's a special community. It's a special place. And I'm going to get into that more here in a minute. I have to thank a lot of people. Okay. First and foremost, my wife, Holly. We've been married for over 20 years. She's been my rock, man. She's moved with me. She tells me exactly how it is, in a good way, so I know well, not always in a good way, but my point is that she's going to let me know exactly what she thinks. And that's a good thing. My kids, my son Cody, my daughter Piper, they've moved and acclimated, and they've been my biggest supporters. So I have to thank them first. Look, I've been influenced by a number of people. But R.C. Slocum was my college coach. He was phenomenal, man. I learned so many tools of the game, learned how to respect the game. I knew situations of the game. Bill Parcells certainly was a huge influence on me. He's just the way that he teaches you to dive into the game, but more importantly, what makes a player tick? How do you get the most out of a player? And I'm forever indebted into him. I had a tight end coach at the New York Giants named Mike Pope, who honestly probably taught me more about the game than anybody did at any given time. He taught me offensive football from the quarterback standpoint all the way to the run game. So the late, great Tony Sperano, he was my tight end coach at Dallas, and then took me under his wing in Miami as a coach. I'm forever grateful for him. Look, there's a number of people I'm going to miss, but I want to make sure I highlight some of these. And then, look, last but certainly not least, when you start talking about the New Orleans family that I just came from, listen, all those guys that I was on this offensive staff, man, I owe them everything. All right, because we all put in the work and we all worked together. And I was the man who I drew the lucky straw, but Dan Rochar, O-line coach, Joel Thomas, running back coach, Pete Carmichael, OC, Joe Lombardi, quarterback coach, RC, my receiver coach, CJ's receiver coach, DJ, he was working with quarterbacks, Declan, he was kind of under me. So all these guys, man, we, Brandon Nugent, O-line. So, man, we put in the work, and you talk about a compatible unit. And I'm just talking about us offensively, not to mention the defensive staff, but you talk about a working environment. It was phenomenal. And that's what I want to create here, is just a bunch of guys that, man, they want to better themselves. They want to learn from the game. They want to learn about the game, but they want to grow together. And one man's strength is another man's weakness, and vice versa. And we know how to cover for each other. Sean's big believer in compatibility is more important than coachability. And, well, you can say, well, coach, I get it. Point is, compatibility is important. It's high important. And it doesn't matter. You can put the best coaches in the room, and if they're all a bunch of alphas and they're trying to eat each other alive, you're never going to get anything done. So I'm very conscious of those things. Look, Mickey Loomis was phenomenal to me. He was always a sounding board for me. He was excellent. He was a man that, he knew how to play off of Sean Payton. He did. And those two working together, that's the model for how Brad and I are going to work together. And in my opinion, it's a collaborative effort. It's give and take. And, but listen, it's been proven to work. All right. Last but not least, Sean Payton. I owe Sean probably more than anybody in this profession. He gave me an opportunity as a player and as a coach, and nobody's believed in me more than Sean Payton, and knew exactly what I was and what I could do. And Sean was always about, give me a player that I know exactly who he is and what he's going to be every day, and I can do something with that guy. It's the guys that are up and down, and the ones that they spike here, and then all of a sudden they're down. He said, I don't know what to do with those guys. I got nothing for them. But you give me a guy who I know who he's going to be every day and what he can do, and we can work with that guy. And so I'll never be able to thank him enough. I've learned more football under him in my time as a player, but now as a coach, for being under him 5 years, about how you see the game, all right, how you use your staff, how you hire your staff, situational football, when to go for it, when to not, when's the time to be aggressive, when's the time to back off. But a majority of the lessons that I have are from him, and so I'll forever be grateful for that. I know I'm going to miss a ton of people, and so for all of you, man, all the ex-players, I'd be listen, all those guys in that locker room, man, they were unbelievable, and those are the guys. They're another reason why I'm sitting where I'm at right now, and I'm actually not sitting, I'm standing, but they are the reason why. And I'm talking about a great group of guys, good character, but man, you talk about some ballers and guys that were willing to lay it on the line for each other, and that's how you win games. All right, so let me go back. Let me start here again. I wanted this job bad because I felt like I knew this community. I played here. All right, here's what I know. Just as an overall philosophy, you're going to say, well, what's this team going to be? What's it not going to be? Here's what I know. All right, I know that Detroit's made up of great people, some really good people. All right, this community is strong. This place has been kicked, it's been battered, it's been bruised, and I can sit up here and give you coach speak all day long. I can give you, hey, we're going to win this many games. I can't. None of that matters, and you guys don't want to hear it anyway. You've had enough of that shit. So excuse my language. All right. Here's what I do know is that this team is going to take on the identity of this city. All right. And the city's been down, and it found a way to get up. All right. It's found a way to overcome adversity. All right. And so this team's going to be built on, we're going to kick you in the teeth. All right. And when you punch us back, we're going to smile at you. And when you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off. All right. And we're going to stand up. And then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down. All right. And on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap and we're going to get up. And then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. Before long, we're going to be the last one standing. All right. That's going to be the mentality. All right. And we're going to learn that any loss that we take, we're going to make sure we feel the full pain of it and not go numb to it and learn from it and not to want to taste it again. All right, we're going to be competitive every game. I can't sit up here and guarantee wins and losses, and I just can't do it. But I'll guarantee you this, man, these guys are going to fight and they're going to claw and they're going to be something that he's proud of because they're going to take on the identity of this city. All right, the ones that have learned, man, it ain't always going to be roses up here. Everything's going to be, the way that we all want it to be and look perfect. But I know this, man, we're going to fight, we're going to scratch, and we're going to claw. And I know the good teams find a way to get it done. And if somebody goes down, the next one steps up and he's expected to produce enough to help those guys next to him win. These guys are going to learn to play together, play for one another. I'm not going to ask these guys to do anything that I've never had to do or never been ask somebody else to do, or for that matter, as coaches. I'm going to find the right staff. I'm going to find a staff that's not loaded with just a bunch of people that look good on paper. Man, I am scouring, I was going to say the country, but even beyond the country, if you will. I'm looking for the best coaches I could find for the best spots. All right, there's great coaches out there. You just got to find them. But I want exactly what I said earlier about what Sean's comment was about, man, hey, look, you're looking for compatibility. Here's the other thing that Sean always used to say when it came to the roster, but it comes with the people around you as well. And that is, it's not about the best 53, it's about the right 53. And I think that way as a staff. All right. This opportunity was given to me from Rod and Sheila and then the Ford family, Mrs. Ford, all right, Martha, Bill, Elizabeth. I got to meet them yesterday, and look, they all want the same thing. They just want a winner, like you guys do, and our players do. And I want to help give them that, just like we all do. Listen, I didn't know Brad before I got here. All right, I did my homework, no different than he did. We had a lot of mutual contacts, and I didn't hear one bad word about Brad. And I've been in contact with him for a while, and man, this has been nonstop. We left here almost midnight last night. I mean, we've been going through everything. But I've told him this. I said, listen, I'm not going to make a hire without you approving it, and I don't have to do that. And he's basically said the same thing to me. Listen, I could find the best coach in the world and feel great about him. And if I go to Brad and Brad's like, there's just something about this guy I don't know, he's going to make me think twice about doing it, because that's how I want it to be. Because he and I are tied to the hip. This guy, he's unbelievable now. You want to talk about vision? We see the game very much the same way. We see players very much the same way. And last night we were talking, we finished each other's sentences twice. One of them was about vision. But that, more importantly, we're not in the business of just stacking players. Let's find a vision for this guy.
We made eye
Because when you
contact.
find a vision for a guy, now you know how to play him, how to put him in your system. All right. But the guys that you don't, He could be the most athletic guy in the world. If you don't have a vision for him, what are you going to do with him? And so I think it's important. And so our relationship, man, up to this point it's been outstanding. Listen, Chris Spillman, I know there's been a lot of things. What is Chris? What is Chris doing? Blah, blah, blah. Chris has been an outstanding resource for me and for Brad, for everybody. And he's been, even yesterday he came in, he's Dan, listen, this is your show. What can I do? Can I help you? Is there somebody I could run down for you? Is there a coach you want me to call and just vet? It's been nothing but a working relationship. He's been a resource. He's played in this league. Listen, he was an excellent player. And he's got excellent instincts as well. He's a resource. That's what he is. And you want to talk about a team guy, he's in the same mold as we are. You want to change the culture of a team, it gets thrown around, it starts at the top. Sheila Hamp, all right, that's where it starts. I was sold within 10 minutes of my interview with her. She is a genuine soul. She wants to win.
What up, though, Jeff?
She is heartfelt. She is humble. And all I want to do is give her success. That's what I want to do. I want her to succeed.
So we'll give her this dick.
No different than any of them here. Mike Disner's been excellent. He's been working the cap and doing these things and helping us, with kind of working through coaches and talking to coaches. And so
what if that's why you got the job?
It's unbelievable. And just to go back, I know I'm a little scattered here, but it
He just gave her
all right, Rod has been unbelievable.
the best night of her life.
Rod has already said, listen,
So she gave him a job.
Dan, take with it what you want. It's your decision. It's your decision. What do you want to do with it? Nobody's dictating anything here. We're getting the best information that we can get. And here's what I know about winning teams. When it starts at the top and it works its way down, it goes right into the locker room. And when it's functional up top and it's flowing and, man, we're efficient and we're moving and everybody knows there's one voice, those guys feel it. And that's how they play. And they have pride in what they're a part of. No different than anybody in this organization. And listen, that's why I'm here. All right. That's why I'm with these people. And that and the fact that I put Matt down as my name instead of Dan. But listen, there's no secret. You got to get good people around you who are all pulling in the same direction. It's team. It's all about team. There's no ego. Brad and I are going to we both have say on the 53-man roster. We have to agree. So we're going to go in a room, all right, and we're just going to fight until one of us comes out, and we'll see what happens. We are going to collaborate. We're going to come up with the best answer, all right, the best solution. What can we do with this guy? Is it more for the future? Is it for now? But listen, and that's not going to be a problem. I want it that way. I want people to challenge me on an idea. I don't want to have a bunch of people that agree with everything that I say. That's a recipe for disaster. I don't want a bunch of people who drink a gallon of coffee like I do in a day. But you find the right mix and the right balance of people. But I know this, when it starts at the top and it's right, then it'll go down. It'll trickle down to where it's supposed to. And those guys are going to have pride in where they're at, who they play for, how they're going to play. And, you'd say more times than not, that leads to success. And there's only one way to do it. And it's to do it the right way. And that's the other thing that intrigued me about Sheila. She wants to win bad, but she's not going to sell with the devil to do it. Neither am I. Thus, I learned a lot. I learned a lot in my time at Miami. I know these questions are going to come up, but listen, I got to the lumps of a season as a head coach. And, I was able to go through 12 games, man. You go through the game management. You go from you get disruption on the sidelines to when to use timeouts to, what players going in. Who are the 46 that are going to be up on game day? This coach is not playing this player enough. He only played 10 plays or 5 plays. So you're going through all these things that I wasn't ready for. I wasn't. And because I'd never been in that situation, in that role. And I've been through those lumps. So I've got some experience. Is it a ton? No, but I do. And so at least I'm past that point. And now we can build this the way that we want it. I get to start from scratch with Brad. And man, last night we looked at each other and we were like, you know what? We can do this the way we want to do this, the right way. He came from program no different than I did. We've seen success. We know what it looks like. And we got the right people in place here to get it done. I mean, you talk about Our facilities are outstanding. These are outstanding. And maybe I'm recruiting free agents right now. Who knows, right? You never know. But I'm serious. We have top-notch facilities. They've spared no expense to make sure that the players have everything they need to have success and to recover and use anything at their resource to become better players. And as a coach, that's all you can ask for. So listen, I want, my job is to make this team better, make it competitive, make it a winner. And look, I can't guarantee wins, but I know this, man. My job is also to get this city back on its feet.
If I was just thinking
I can say all I want to do, everything about, man, this is what, and I get it. I don't blame you fans one bit. I get it, man. You've seen these. There's no telling how many of these press conferences you've seen. I'm not going to stand up here and give you coach speak, but I'm going to tell you this, man. This team is going to take on identity. All right. There's been enough hard times here, and you always found a way back up. This team's going to freaking do the same thing. And every time we get hit, we're going to get back up stronger. That's what I do know. I'm going to put the right coordinators in place. I'm going to put the right staff together with those coordinators. All right. They're going to be the right mix, the right balance that complement who I am and know how to deliver the message. Brad and I are going to be tight at the hip, and we're going to make sure that we see everything right down the line with our coordinators as to how we see this team looking. What is the shape of this roster, man? How do we see these? What is the length of our outside linebackers, man? Where do we see our tackles, our guards, the girth? What about our speed on the outside? What about our back? We're like that. Everything's going to be in line. All right. Now, we're not going to agree on everything, but I can tell you this, man, just knowing this man for the time I've known him and vetting him myself, he's exactly like I am. He wants the same things I do. He's no different than me. Look, when things go hard, you're going to see me stand up. When they go good, I want to just fall to the wayside. He's no different than that. So, look, I wanted this job. I wanted to be here, man. I think this is a special place. I think this is special because I know this. When we bring a winner to this city, it's going to be something we can all be proud of. Any questions?
All right, DifferentLines.com.
Yeah, Coach, I got a question. You've got a lot of work to do, and you got to build a staff and all that. Where do you stand with your coordinators, offense, defense, and special teams? Have you hired anybody? Are you close to anybody?
Well, I was actually getting ready to hire 2 guys, and then I had to come do this press conference. So I think that's a joke. No, I'm working through it right now. Look, I've talked to a number of people. I've probably already interviewed, 4 coordinators on both sides of the ball. Look, it's no secret that I've talked to Aaron Glenn about defensive coordinator. I was with him, but he's somebody certainly I'm interested in. But listen, I'm working through that. And as soon as I get out of here, I'm taking this jacket and this tie off. I'm putting on my lines gear and I'm going to work, man. I'm going to be on the phone. I'm going to be on my laptop, and we're going to be going.
Tim Twentyman, DetroitLions.com.
Hey, Dan, you said that, you'd never ask your players to do something that you've never done before. And being a former player, how has that shaped kind of, just your coaching style?
Well, look, I think that, look, for example, I understand, let's just take this for example, like something in the run game. All right. I know, not that I was the best athlete in the world, but I think I have a realistic, viewpoint of what somebody can do and can't. For example, you're on the backside, right? And you got a backside cutoff, and you're my right tackle, and we're going to ask you to try to go cut off a 2-eye. It's like, okay, this is ridiculous. It's not even feasible. You're trying to do some of these things that are, and so I think just from sometimes, look, I think if you're not careful, you're asking guys to do things that even though they're phenomenally talented, that it's could be impossible. And then I think a lot of it is who you're playing, man. I think that there's so many things about this game to where it's about matchups. Look, somebody's going to get into this, and I know this is going to be the next question. All right, you want to know about X's and O's and what's my philosophy? Here's my philosophy on offense and defense for that matter.
He's like, win.
We're going to run a system that puts our best on your worst. That's what we're going to do, because that's what we did in New Orleans. So we're going to find a way to put our guys in one-on-one matchups, whether it's run or pass. All right. I want to find, if you're telling me that our left tackle is better than their right end and we can run outside zone all day, we're going to run outside zone as long as we can cut off the backside. Why not? I mean, if we can exploit a weakness, we're going to do it. If you tell me that because of that, we need to run it 10 times in a row to open the game so we can throw it, guess what? We're going to run it 10 times. If you tell me that X receiver cannot be stopped and they're not rolling to him at all, and we can throw Harveys all day or hitches or smokes and let him run, then we're going to do it. And you tell me we're going to do it 10 times because they're just not taking it away. They're not doubling. They're not rolling to cover two. Then we'll do it. And if that means that's going to open up the run game, we'll do it. They get into cover two, then we'll start running it. So I'm into exploiting weaknesses with our strengths. And that more importantly is what I believe in more than, hey, look, I'm not a system guy as far as I'm going to come in with this. I've been through all of them. I've seen all of them. So I'm not caught up on that. I want to find the best coordinator who's going to come in and he's going to have the vision of how he wants to run it with mine. There's concepts that I know work and that we did well that I'm going to implement and want implemented. But other than that, let's put our guys in the best position to have success. That's what I'm about. Defensively, whoever my defensive coordinator is, it's going to be about running his system, yet let's put our guys in the best position. If you tell me we got a corner who's an unbelievable blitzer, well, let's cat blitz him. Let's bring it. Let's let him do what he does well. That's in a nutshell. That's what I believe.
Dave Burkett, Detroit Free Press.
Hey, Dan, welcome back to town. First of all, can't imagine amazing how that feeling was to walk in here, 15 years later. Congrats.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah. Appreciate it.
And I think you got a lot of people out there fired up to go play football tomorrow. So.
Well, I could tell. Let me tell you this. When I arrived 3 nights ago, it was about, 12:31 in the morning. There was 2 fans waiting for me. Both had footballs. It's snowing. It's coming down. And you talk about, man, they were unbelievable. They were loyal. But I was fired up. I was, man. It was pretty cool.
No, we can tell. I think they appreciate that. I have 2 things. And the first one, this may be a little difficult for you to, talk about yourself in this regard, but talking to some of your old teammates about leadership. And one of them said, I guess one of the things is getting players to give you their all without demanding it from them, without demanding that they give you your all. So I was wondering if you could just speak on that concept and go about, leading people, what traits you see in yourself as being important.
And yeah, it's when you do that, that's hard because, you're going to ask me to do something that you're going to ask me to speak on myself a little bit as far as that's regard. Look, I would say I've always viewed leadership as more of a servant role. You lead by being a servant and you do things that, that guys gravitate to. And when they see that you're willing to do it and you're not batting an eye at it, it's just water off a duck's back. Like they do it because it's like, well, man, look at this guy. He's just running right through it. No problem. Here we go. And so I've kind of always looked at things that way. Leadership to me has always been one of those things. It's been hard for me, especially when I was younger, to be someone that said, well, I'm a leader. I'm going to stand up and lead. I was never that way. It was always, something would come up and things would bubble inside of me, right? They would bubble. I could feel the heat on the back of my neck. And it's say something. And I think that's where it began. And when I felt something, I said something. So I'm a pretty genuine guy. And it's hard for me to have fake emotion or be something I'm not. So I think my leadership comes from that. I think that I'm about people. And I think I understand people, not everybody, but I want to know people and I want to understand what makes a player tick and who they are, where they came from, because there's a reason why everybody, everybody has some things in their life that either, they react to or positively to. And I think when you can get into the nuts and bolts of who the human is, then you realize, maybe the reason that guy showed up late was something very simple that's going on in his life, as opposed to, just reacting and blowing your top over the fact that he's late. Maybe actually something is going on. Now, I would blow my top and, have a problem, but sit down afterwards and say, what's going on? You know, what is there
Do
something
my
I
time
need to
long
know?
time
And
ago,
let's
fellas.
find out. You know, because look, let's be honest, man. These kids nowadays, these men, they got a lot going on. And this whole social media, I mean, they have a lot of stress put on them. You know, yeah, they make a lot of money and life's good. I get it. You're right. And we should all be thankful. But they also, there's a lot of stress put on them. And they got a lot of pressure from family and fans. And, you know, it's the whole fantasy leaderboard. And so there's things sometimes that get to them. And, but my job is to make sure that their focus is on the main thing. And that's about playing ball and being about the team first. You know, you put your ego in the back seat and let's get in the boat and let's all row the same direction, because when we all win, you know, then you'll win individually, but we got to win first as a team.
Appreciate that. And then I just want to ask you, since you mentioned compatibility being so important, can you share a little bit more of your first, you know, the first meeting that you met Brad? You know, what was that like? You know, any anecdotes that you talked about? You know, both saying that, hey, we got a chance to do this the right way. So maybe you could share a little bit more of that story.
Yeah, well, listen, like I said, we've been in contact on the phone, you know, for a while now, just bouncing stuff off of each other. But I would just say that he is, like we were talking about makeup of a player last night. We were talking about vision of what you're looking for each player. But man, he's like, Dan, listen, my job is to give you exactly what you need to help you implement the system, the schemes that you guys are looking for. And that starts with me, but implement the system, the schemes that you guys are looking for. And that starts with me, and then it goes to my coordinators, right? And so when you're a head coach and you have a GM who you can tell is, listen, not to mention the people that I know that he knows, the mutual contacts that, I mean, rave about this guy, that was first and foremost, because these people that I'm talking to, I've got the utmost respect and trust in. And so that goes a long way. And then to sit down with a guy and he, as the GM, is telling you, Dan, I want to give you exactly what you need, man. I want to give you exactly what you need. And just give you the vision of what you're looking for so we can go out and find it. Man, that's all you can ask for as a head coach. And then as it pertains, listen, Brad and I are going to really dive into the roster this weekend that is currently here. I mean, we're already talking on the same page. Hey, man, listen, dive into it. You know, I'm going to dive into it. We're going to come together collaboratively.
He said roster that's currently here.
Come up with our own
That means
ideas
different
as to
might be.
how you feel about this guy, how you do. Then let's come together and talk about him. We'll go through salaries. We'll hit it all. But I mean, look, Brad's already got a vision of how he wants this thing to move forward as it pertains to our own players. And then he's already working with talking about the draft and the Senior Bowl and all these things that are getting ready to transpire. And so, man, he's been unbelievable on that end. Like vision is a big word to me, man. It's something that means, because we use it all the time in New Orleans. Man, you got to have vision for a coaching staff, for a coaching position. You got to have vision for your team. You got to have a vision for the player. You have a vision for a coach. And because if you don't, then you're just kind of spinning your wheels, right? They're just somebody that's there. But man, when you got a vision, you have a clear picture of where you want somebody to be or what you want it to look like. Brad's got that, man. And I'm that way too. He's an out of the box thinker, no different than I am. I mean, you talk about, hey, look, this guy's an athlete. You think maybe he could play cornerback? You know, do you think maybe he could play receiver? Do you think? And so, like in that regard, it's been great. I mean, we've already bounced a few things off of each other. You know, there's a couple of things that I've already liked that he's like, yeah, I see what you see, but I'm not as high. And I love it, man. I mean, that's exactly what this is about, the collaboration. And so as a head coach, everything has been about, Coach, what do you need? What do you need? How can I help you? And I told Brad, what can I do for you? Tell me how I can help you. Can I get you something that's going to help you do your job as well? So, and I've already said it, man, I don't want to make a move without him knowing about it. Like, we're going to be on the same page, and we're in this thing together. I don't have to do that. Just like he doesn't have to tell me anything. We were both hired under the same umbrella with Sheila and Rod. And so, but man, I think it's important, and it's how you win. I mean, this is a marriage. So we're going to make this thing work.
Justin Rogers, Detroit News.
Welcome back, Dan.
Thank you.
Were you a little surprised Don Muehlbach was still hanging around?
I was. I was here with Big Don. Yeah.
So
Mule.
the culture is the big conversation today, in installing culture. And I think when a new voice comes in, there's a now eagerness to embrace and to bounce. I'm wondering, just working under Sean and learning from Sean these last few years, what did you learn about establishing a long-term culture? Because I think that's a real difficult thing to do in this league.
Yeah, look, I think it starts with the people. I think it starts with the right people. You got to have you have to have people that don't have egos. They have real humility. They're hardworking. They're people that want to do, and they want to say, they want to be everything that you represent. And I think it all starts there. And that's what we built in New Orleans. Look, I would say one of the biggest things that happened is, look, Mrs. Benson was unbelievable there. And she was, listen, Dennis, you guys, you tell Mickey, you tell Sean, whatever they need from me, they got it. And so really it started with ownership, and then it's Mickey and Sean. I'm telling you, look, did they have some rough days? Yeah, they did. But I mean, you're talking about, this thing's been going over 15 years out there, and they always find a way to make it work. And man, there's a lot of give and take, but I mean, ultimately that to me is the biggest reason, because if those were fractured and there was always this, hey, it's your guy, it's his guy. I've been part of that, man. I've been part of the scouting department is, man, they're high on this guy, and you hear the rumblings, and then it's the coaches are saying, no, I don't know what he's talking about. We didn't have any of that in New Orleans, man. It was, everybody knew, how do we help Sean? How do we help Sean? What can I do for Sean Payton? Because he is the voice and the vision. And so it's no secret why we have success. Listen, we had some damn good players too, man. I mean, Drew Brees is freaking as classy as they get. He's unbelievable, man. And that team wanted to, they took on that identity, no different than their coach. But that's the biggest reason to me. Those two were able to butt heads, but yet see eye to eye enough to where, listen, man, everybody knew exactly who was in charge, and there was never any of these, these closed door conversations about somebody and, what is he talking about here? No. It was, we were all moving the same direction. So that's my vision for Brad and myself, and there's going to be a clear line of communication between us two and Sheila and Rod. I mean, this thing is going to be transparent. It's going to be open, man. I want to galvanize this building. I want to galvanize downtown at the stadium. I want to galvanize this city. I mean, this party. You may be who knows? You may be subway in the street and I just pop in with a camera. All right. So you just be ready. All right. Because I'm going to go in there and say, hey, what do you think about your new head coach? If you don't know who I am, I'm just going to give you a hard time, just so you know. So, listen,
let's go, Matt Campbell.
I think that's where it starts. Here's the other thing I would say, Justin, is that Sean did an outstanding job of confrontation. And I don't mean that in a negative light. He would tell you exactly where you stood and what he had a problem with and what he saw that was good in any coach, all right, in any player. And I think that goes a long way. I think there's a lot of people nowadays that have a hard time of saying things the way they really are. And I think they have a hard time of telling these grown men that they're wrong or they don't like what they're doing and explaining why they don't like it and what the problem is. And, for example, if a guy comes in late, I'm just hypothetical, and you don't say a word to him, but you just fine him, it does nothing. It does nothing. Like, you need to talk to the kid, talk to him, open up what's going on. Why were you late? This is not going to happen again. Like, you have to confront, and it's healthy. It's the only way you learn. And Sean is as good as anybody. Listen, we've We've all been corrected with Sean Payton plenty of times, but listen, everybody knows who's in charge, and everybody's in line, and they understand when you're right and when you're wrong.
We got a lot more, but I think we're all trying to move forward with our day. So another day. Thank you, Dan.
Okay, thanks, Justin.
Kyle Mikey, M Live.
Dan, nice to meet you. Welcome to Detroit.
Go to Detroit.
I read, Dan, you said just today, the team reporter, that you think this roster is closer than many think to competing. You also said in this press conference that you don't want to give coach speak to people because they've heard this same shit for years, and that's some shit people around the city have heard for years. That the
Three of them. I started the first one. We had three.
I'm just quoting you, my man.
No, I like it. I'm with you. You're right.
No, but that is a line that people have heard for many years here. So I guess what gives you the belief that that's a reality, and what can you do and your staff do to get, to help this roster achieve the potential?
I'm with you, Kyle. I appreciate that, man. And look, I like I say, Brad and I are going to dive into that this weekend as it pertains to the roster. But here's what I know from afar as I've looked, and some of the tape that I have watched is, I just know this, man. There's some pieces here that I'm fired up about. I really am. And look, let's call a spade a spade. There's probably more pieces offensively than defensively that super fire me up. But that's tentatively kind of how I feel. I'm going to go through it. But I also know this, man. There's always the ability to hit on a good draft and sign a few free agents that you feel like believe the same way that you do as a program and come from winning programs, and they fit a role, they fit a piece, listen, something can happen. You can kind of make things a little more positive than maybe the perception is in the spring. So that's what I mean by that. This is, I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that that it's not going to take some work. I mean, Brad said it best yesterday. There is going to be some retooling that's going to be needed, and those are the facts that matter. But what I'm saying is, there's some pieces here that I certainly like, and you can work with, and you could see, man, if you could complement some of these pieces, whether it be draft or free agency, I could see this thing. I could see this thing being pretty positive moving forward. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, Kyle.
I know Justin respectfully bowed out. The second question, I'm going to get a little greedy and ask one more. You're talking about pieces that you can build around. I'm just curious your thoughts on Matthew Stafford and whether, you think he's a piece you want to build around going forward.
Well, I'd say this. That's another one we're going to talk about, sit down with Brad. I mean, we've had discussions, but here's what it's about. Matthews, man, he's a stud. All right, he's a stud. He is one of the toughest quarterbacks you'll ever see. He's extremely talented. I know he's a team guy, and listen, I know he wants to win, and so I'll leave it at that. That's what I do know.
All right, we'll go Chris Burke next. As we go through the next list of questions here to get everybody's question in, let's please limit to one per turn. Chris.
Hey, Dan, congratulations. Nice to meet you from afar here.
Yeah, you too, Chris.
So obviously you mentioned, just the importance of being a former player. Sheila and Rod both mentioned that, especially the importance of playing in Detroit. I guess to flip it to the other side, are there any challenges to having come up as a player in, I don't want to say a different era, it wasn't that long ago, but obviously the game looks a little different than it did 15 years ago, and the rules are a little different, practice rules are a little different. Is there anything you've had to learn along the way to make sure you're still relating to players you're coaching?
This is going to be in relation to the Oklahoma drill, right? That's what you really want to ask.
If you want to talk about the Oklahoma drill, we can, but well, I just mean all of it, the social media. I mean, there's so much.
This cracks me up. And let me explain what the so-called Oklahoma drill was. It was, I took a right tackle and I took a left defensive end and I put them across from each other, and I had a quarterback sitting in gun, and I just had somebody snapping the ball. That's all it was. It was one-on-one. And so, like, when I think of Oklahoma, I think of, you got linemen over each other, right? You're in this box, this 5x5 box. You got a lineman over one, lineman over behind, ball carrier. Here we go. And so I never did that, but I do one-on-ones because I believe in them. I believe in that you put guys in positions to where they either rise to the top or they get exposed. I think the more you can put, particularly a young player, in a position to where he has to overcome adversity or he gets exposed in front of his teammates, I think the quicker that he learns to grow. I think it's better that you find that out in that setting than you do on Sunday when the game's on the line. And I think you find out a lot about a player. I think you find out about vets that way, honestly. You know, there's a lot of guys, boy, they look great in practice. And when the game's not on the line, boy, they look good. But all of a sudden, when it really comes time to be counted on, oh man, he got beat. Well, he graded out perfect except for that one or two plays. Well, yeah, but those one or two plays are always when the game's on the line. So I think you can find some of those things out, because you'd be shocked when you get put in front of your peers as to how somebody may or may not respond. So I'm big on that. Look, yes, the game has changed quite a bit, you know, certainly the rules of it. And look, I'm all about the rules. Now we're going to get close to the rules, and we will walk the line of the rules, but we will definitely not break those rules. So, you know, look, there's a certain way that I believe in practicing and playing the game. But I'm also a big believer in sports science. Let's put it that way. Maybe that helps. So I think recovery of an athlete is huge, especially in these demanding in the nature of the way these guys play now, and the grueling season. It's demanding, and so hopefully I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you, Dan.
All right, Chris.
Michael Rothstein, ESPN.
Hey, Dan, congrats on getting the job. Thanks for being very forthright with a lot of candor so far. I'm curious what you learned from your experience on that 2008 team.
Well, if I'm being totally transparent, I got hurt in game one against Atlanta, and I was put on injured reserve. My family was back in Texas, my wife and kids, so I was actually back home in Texas for that season. Now, I was around that roster in the spring training camp leading up to that, and so look, nobody likes that taste for sure. And you know, there's always a lot of lessons that can be learned from losing. You just got to make sure that you learn them and you correct them, because if you don't, then you're destined to do the same thing over and over, right?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Lage, Associated Press.
Welcome back, Dan.
Hey, thank you.
Take me back to when you finished up the interim gig. Did a solid job, but you're probably wondering, like, am I going to get another shot? And now to have that shot, take me back then and how it feels to be standing there now.
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly how I felt. I knew I could do this. This was something I feel like I was born to do. And boy, there was a whole list of things that I wrote down is that I wish I'd have done this better. Man, I should have learned from this. This would have been something that, you know, moving forward, I would have done. And so I can tell you exactly what happened. Sean Payton called me immediately and he said, hey, you know, I'd love to have you out here. Come out here with me. And I had a couple of other offers going on, but Sean's like, listen, you come out here, you be my assistant coach, and I'll fill in all the pieces for you. I'll fill in everything you need and you need to know, and I'll show you exactly what it's supposed to look like. You know, he goes, look, I know you know how to coach the position. I know you know offense, and you can grow from these things. He goes, but as a head coach, I'll fill in this stuff for you. I'll show you about the draft. I'll show you about players. I'll show you about the staff. I'll show you about game situations. And I'll let you stand up in front of the room. I'll let you lead these guys. And so, man, he was right. And I did, and I trusted him, and I've always trusted him, and he took me under his wing, and man, I was a sponge. That's what I was. I was a sponge. I did exactly what he needed me to do, asked me to do. You know, if I felt like there was some fires I needed to put out before they got to him, I would do that. You know, I felt like that was one of my jobs, and but he allowed me to grow, and that's one of the best compliments a coach can ever give to another coach. He allowed me to grow into the role that I'm about to take on right now.
Thank you.
You bet.
John Macaroon, SI.
Yeah, like Eamon said, I'm John Macaroon with SI, the Detroit Lions site. Thanks, Dan, for the time. I appreciate it. I do have one question with a couple parts. It's about the quarterback position. Obviously, you guys possess the number 7 pick. Are you guys interested in a nice young college quarterback to potentially start this tenure with? And 2, what's your philosophy on playing younger quarterbacks? Do you believe they need to sit and learn from a veteran, or should they just be ready to be thrown in and get right into NFL action?
Well, I believe that, man, you let them go and you let them win until they can't. And then if they can't, they sit behind a veteran who can. That was a joke. I'm sorry, John. But listen, I'm open to anything right now. As we've said, Sheila and Rod and certainly Brad and myself, we're going to discuss. Look, there's a million avenues that you can go with the quarterback talk, and so this is just too early right now to talk about that. Literally, this is my second day in Detroit, and yesterday was I was on the phone all day, and now this is my first introductory press conference. So John, I promise you we're going to get to it, but I feel like it's just too mature right now. Immature, sorry.
Mike Stone, 97.1.
Yeah, Dan. Welcome back. You obviously have been here with the culture, the losing. There's 3 letters that Lions fans always hang on to, SOL, same old Lions. Besides just winning games, how do you get that changed around here where we don't sit there and say, heard this, done that, same old Lions?
Oh, well, I think a lot of it is I think we need to bring some back into this place, man. Listen, I'm willing to do whatever, man. I'm not kidding you. I think, look, I think I'm a big mind over matter person, and a lot of you are going to think I'm a kook a little bit here, but I do believe you can will things in some regard. Like, if you are a real positive thinker, I believe that positive things can happen to you, and those around you begin to grow from that, and they feel your energy. There was a young lady who left when I was in New Orleans. She used to leave these notes. They were kind of little motivational notes, always, getting ready for the game. They'd be laying there. And so one of the notes was, don't adapt to the energy in the room, influence it. And I'm a big believer in that. That's kind of me in a nutshell. And man, I believe that when you think the right things and you're around the right people and you deliver a message of hope and you get your players to buy into that hope and you get to find the hope, it becomes more than just one person. It becomes more than one team. It becomes more than one community. It becomes all of us. And I'm a believer in that. I think this is greater than just one football team. I think the football team can spark something great here. And, listen, just deep down in my core, that's what I believe, man. I don't want to sell you guys something that you've been sold so many times over and over. Believe me, I get it. And I wouldn't want any of you guys to just jump on board right now and be like, oh, I'm sold. I got it 100%. And I wouldn't expect you to, but I'm going to do everything in my power to win you guys over and get our team to win you guys over. And at the end of the day, I know wins and losses are the only thing that matters, but when I say that I want our team to take on the identity of this city, I mean it. And they're going to hear that from me. This is the first time they've heard it, just like you have, but they're going to hear it from me. And it's going to mean something. All right. It's going to mean something. It's going to mean that when you come into Detroit, you're going to leave beat up. All right. And I'm talking about as a team. I'm not saying when we get the tourists come in, people want to come in, but listen, man, this is a resilient city, but it's made up of good, blue-collar, hard-working people, and that's what our team's going to look like. They're going to learn to get up, and they're going to learn to fight again.
Corey Woods, Woodward Sports.
Hey, Dan, welcome to Detroit.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Question. So, do you feel that there's anything different with this Lions team that you would have done over the past few seasons as far as their coaching and their talent? Like, their record over the past season, do you think it's a reflection of talent on the team or how they were coached? And what would you have done differently?
Oh, listen, man, I appreciate the question, Corey, but I think that's a hard one to answer right now. Just because I haven't been here, and man, whatever happened with the old regime, I don't even want to, discuss. Let's just that's water under the bridge, and and look, all I know is that from afar, there's a lot of players that I've had respect for on this team that I think are good players, and you know, that are still here in some regards, and I'm excited to work with. And so, man, I don't want to feel like I'm dodging it, Corey, but I just feel like I feel like I can't answer that one right now.
John Neo, Detroit News.
Hey, Dan, welcome back. Just wondering, how important is play calling experience for you with these coordinator hires? How important is it to get them right the first time around, I guess? And then also, what challenges do you think you'll face if this is another virtual offseason, just in terms of putting your imprint on this thing?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing would be, I think what's more important than anything to me as far as an offensive coordinator is someone that I believe has the vision of the offense kind of the way I do, just in regard to, listen, I'm not going to get hung up on what you want to call the terminology. I'm not going to get hung up on the style of system that you want to put in. I'm more into, man, show me what are the nuts and bolts that you believe in. Show me, you a big gun run guy. Do you like under center? Or do you want to spread it out? Do you want to, you know, is this a system of, hey, here we go, man, this is my deal. This is where we play. And we're not moving the pieces. The pieces stay in place. And guess what? If coverage dictates it, then that guy gets the ball. I'm not about that. I don't believe in that. I believe in those things will come up throughout a game, but at some point we're going to find a way to get our best players there again on your worst players. Like, how do we find those matchups? And okay, let's use your concepts, but now let's put, for example, let's put Swift in the slot. All right, let's take him out of the backfield and work him one-on-one with Will linebacker. I mean, so those are the things I'm looking for. I want to see, you know, what about tempo? You know, what do you believe about tempo? If you're an offensive coordinator, do you want to sit in? Are you a spontaneous guy? What empty? Do you like empty? Do you feel like it's hard on the quarterback? If it is empty, how many plays are you going to give him? You give him 5 plays you can go to by coverage? Do you give him 2? So there's just a number of things I'm looking for. You know, look, I don't want a coordinator who's going to throw the ball 60 times a game, 50 times a game. That's not what I'm looking for. On the flip side of that, I'm not looking for somebody to run it 50 times a game. So I know there's this preconceived notion about me. Of course I want to run the football because there's a mentality about it. There's a physicality about it. It makes you better defensively as well when you do it against yourselves in practice. But ultimately, man, I want to find the best guy for the job that fits what I want to do, fits what we're trying to do here, and can put our guys in the best situation to have success.
We have time for 5 more questions, starting with Justin Rose, WXYZ.
Dan, since you're okay with jokes, is it okay to refer to you as the dude from the Big Lebowski?
Dude, I've heard it. And the hair is not like it used to be, but it was, yeah, it looked a lot closer to the dude than it does now. So yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, very good, very good. You know, you mentioned Detroit. You know, fans of the Lions have been battered, bruised, beaten, and whatnot.
Yeah.
Just wondering if your time away from Detroit after playing here, you know, you heard, you know, oh, it's the Lions. Oh, we're preparing for the Lions this week. If that maybe is something you want to change. You kind of mentioned at the beginning that you want to change the identity of maybe the outside perception of what Detroit is and bring that more into the light. Just can you expand on that just a little bit on how you go about doing that beyond just winning games?
Yeah. Listen, by the way, I'm going to apologize because I didn't answer the whole, how do you work through COVID? I apologize for that, for the question just a minute ago. And so now let me get back to what you just said, Justin. All right. So yeah, in a nutshell, the easiest answer to that is, yeah, I want people to, man, I want them to know when they come into this city and they walk into Ford Field, man, this thing is, they're not going to be able to hear. We're going to play fast. We're going to play violent. We're going to attack. We're going to have attacking mentality. You're not going to know where it's coming from. You know, we'll have multiple personnel groups, offensively, defensively. I know this is much more of a sub game than it ever used to be, particularly most offenses. But this will be something to where I feel like there's an attitude, there's a pride in where you live and where you play. And I love the fact we play in a dome because it can get loud. I mean, we've been in the Superdome for 5 years, and I mean, when that place is going, you can't hear yourself think. And that's what you want. You want opponents to come in and say, you either want two things: them to say, "Man, this is going to be tough," and they're working on silent count all week, or they're like, "Man, this is exciting because the environment is electric," when you're one of those true competitors who's coming into play. But either way, it's the environment, man, that you're looking for. And so, yeah, I want there to be this demeanor about it. I want to bring something back that means something, man. There's a toughness to it. There's a grit to it. But look, the only way to do that is you got to have these small battles first, right? You got to do it with one win, and one win's got to lead to two, and two's got to lead to three. But along the way, even if there is a loss in there, man, it's got to be, man, whoever we just played came out, it was a dogfight. I mean, it was an all-out dogfight. And it's like, if we have to play those guys again, or if we have to see them in the playoffs, we're going to have some problems. And that's what you want. I mean, ultimately, you just want a team that you go out there and you're going to compete, and you're trying to be in every game at the end of the game to give yourself the best chance to have an opportunity to win it.
Thanks. Congrats.
Thank you.
Carlos Menares, Detroit Free Press.
Yeah, hey, Dan. We talk a lot about culture, and Rod Wood himself has talked about, different criteria. Among that, he's talked about wanting an open and inclusive culture. You made some anti-gay remarks when you were a student at Texas A&M. Can you address and explain that situation and maybe what you learned from it?
Yeah, it was it was a bonfire comment. Texas was, I went to Texas A&M, but it was a rivalry game for us. And so you're in front of the student body. I was 22 years old. And, I made a comment about, I made a comment I shouldn't have made, is exactly what it was. And, at the time I was, oh man, this was, thought it was, something exciting. And I remember I got home and who is now my wife, my fiance at the time, was like, "Oh my God, what have you done?" But she was right, and it slapped me right in the face after I had talked to her. And look, I apologized for it, and it was something, I was young, and I wish I wouldn't have said it. And and if I could go back, I wouldn't have. But it's here we are, and it's out there, and all I can do is apologize for it.
Bob Winowski, Detroit News.
Hello there, Dan. Welcome back.
Thank you.
When you're coming from a place, New Orleans, who had one of the all-time greats at quarterback in Drew
Fucking
Brees,
hate Wojo's
and obviously
voice.
a lot was built
I
around
can't
him,
help
but there
it.
were other elements. In your vision, do you have to have excellence at quarterback to win in this league, and how much does that have to be figured out for you to be successful here?
I think the short answer to that is no, but I think your odds go way up of having success when you find one of those guys. So I think that, look, this is a passing league right now. It just is. The numbers that are being put up grow every year in the pass game. So look, I think that's certainly an important piece that every team needs. You look at the greats and these teams that have had success throughout the last number of years have a quarterback. They have a quarterback in place who's somebody that they feel like they can lean on, and they're going to be able to rely on for a long period of time. So yeah, certainly that's important. Do you have it? Well, no, but man, tell me who the other guy is then, as to who's going to serve that role, and I think it's like anything else. If you don't have something, if maybe you're lacking in one area, boy, you better beef up another, right? So you better find a way to build on those things around that piece that maybe you don't have, so that you can, give yourself the best chance to win.
Michael Stetz, WJR.
Dan, congratulations on getting the gig.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yesterday in your introductory video with the team, you said we're gonna put Motown back on the map. If you can elaborate on that and what you need to do to succeed in doing just that.
Well, I think that's already started. I think what I meant by that was, look, it's no secret what we want to do here, right? I mean, look, if you're just talking about the standard of the division, I mean, you're talking about the Green Bay Packers right now. I mean, let's call it what it is. I mean, those guys they're finding ways to win. They've been successful. I think that kind of starts there because it's in the division, man. How do we get to where they're at? Like that's where we want to get, right? We want to be competing for the division championship every year. If we're not shooting for that, what are we doing? And then once you become a division winner, right, now you're starting to talk about the next level. All right. And you can only take things one game at a time, one season at a time. But I think what I've already stated is exactly how you get there. But for me, all I needed to know was who I was working for and what kind of people they were. And if it felt right, and I knew that we could add people that were just like them, but had experience in certain fields, and that, man, it's going to be hard for us not to have success. Now, it may take a little bit, but I bank on people, man. I put my faith in people more than anything else. It's a people business, and I believe that. And so, talent sometimes can be overrated. I'm sorry to say it. And certainly every team needs you're going to need some pieces, but I know this, man, it starts with the people. And if you get the right people and they have certain skill sets, and we use those to the best of their ability. And we we complement each other in every area, from the top to the bottom, the coaching staff, man, to video, right, to marketing, sales, to the team. I feel like I think you're breeding success. That's how I view it.
All right. Last question, Ken Brown, WJR.
Hey, Dan, welcome back to town.
Thank you.
Question about where's your philosophy on personalities in the locker room? I know what you want playing wise, one voice, one team, but what do you feel about your locker room, how you want to see it personality wise?
Yeah, listen, man, at New Orleans, we had all kinds of personalities out there. They're all different. And look, there's personalities that are easier to deal with than others, but I know this, like, for example, in New Orleans, man, at the end of the day, no matter what was going on, when it came time to work as one unit and work together and be part of a unit, boy, those guys were on point. And there's no secret why we had success down there. So look, my viewpoint is, as long as it's not distracting, as long as it's not distracting from the team, or a distraction, then the kid can play and he's team oriented, I got no problem with that. I mean, I'll say this, the player at the time when I was coming into Dallas as a free agent, as a player, was named Terry Glenn, and Terry had gotten a bad rep about some things, about his past and what he was like. He wasn't a team guy, and he's disruptive, and he's head off the field, and so I didn't know Terry Glenn, and he came in as a free agent just like I did in Dallas, and I didn't know him, but I read that crap, and guess what? That was my first thought of him. And I remember I met him in the hallway at the same place we were staying, getting ready for off season. Man, I remember I met him. I'm like, man, I like this guy. And you know what? He's one of the best teammates I ever played with after that season. You talk about unselfish. Man, he just wanted to help the team. That dude, he's blocking the run game now. He'd mix it up. He'd finish his block. He was outstanding. And I remember at the end of that year, I said, I will never judge another book by its cover, because it was bad. He got beat up bad about his reputation and these things. And I'm telling you, he was one of the best teammates I ever had. Some open personalities. Sometimes it can, it can be a hindrance, it can be a problem. But listen, man, I got zero problem with personalities as long as we keep them all in check and we're all pulling the same way.
All right. Thanks, Dan. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, Dan.
I'm muted. There you have it. That's your new Detroit Lions head coach, Dan Campbell, aka Matt Campbell. I don't know what the running joke was on that one. Maybe somebody accidentally said it. I think Rod Wood actually called him Matt Campbell earlier. I don't know where that joke came from. If there's any concerns with him as a head coach, is if it is absolutely if he accidentally actually put his name as Matt Campbell. That does concern me because CTE is a thing and brain damage is a thing. My man did play football. Other than that, though, I guess takeaways from it, man. He started off emotional. I think maybe a little nervous, which I can get. Passionate. The passion was definitely there. Look, man, anything's better than what we just had in there, man. I'm gonna keep it real with you. At this point, like I'm gonna be in love with anything, regardless, because I wasn't happy with what was there beforehand. I like the fact that he is a player's coach, and he spoke on it just there at the end. Allowing personalities to be themselves as long as they're pulling the weight in the same way, as long as they're there for the team. And I mean that's absolutely a trait, an attribute I like as a leader, because there's pieces of a team that can be like that, but are majorly productive for you. I think Terrell Owens was one of that throughout his career. You know what I'm saying? He was like a mess in the locker room and whatnot, but he was a phenomenal player, man. And he always showed up for his team. I think he played the Super Bowl with a broken freaking leg. Not to sound like Kurt Angle, but he's my broken freaking neck. But other than that, man, I'm trying to think back on the questions and comments and stuff like that. As far as X's and O's go, guys, if you missed it, he said he's more of a he wants to match. He wants his matchups against your weaknesses, team's weaknesses. So, like if he spoke an example on a left tackle, if we have a better left tackle and have a weak right end, then we're going to run we're going to counter that ball to that side every time. I mean, if we have to run it 10 times open and pass, that's what we're going to do. And I like that, man. I think that's a phenomenal philosophy of coaching. I think that's how you watch like a lot of the great teams, like the Patriots, who like if you think about the Patriots in their prime, and I'm not saying like speaking on them as if they're great now, but the Patriots, like when they were good, Tom Brady and Sony Michel and these multiple running backs that they had, there was no like identity to the team. You know what I'm saying? They never really had they had Randy Moss at one point, but Bill Belichick never truly has an identity. Defense, maybe, yeah, but week to week, that offense changes and it's based upon who he's playing. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a great philosophy when it comes to the X's and O's. I think we're really dependent on the coordinator hire as far as like actual, plays and whatnot go. I'll keep it real at that point. Listen to him talk, and I get the nervousness of like being a head coach and whatnot, and this being your introductory press conference. It's like a dream come true. It's a real type of moment. But he did seem like nervous and a little hesitant. He was just nervous for sure, because it kind of seemed like he wasn't really able to articulate certain things there at the very beginning. But again, I get the moment. You know what I'm saying? He's a first-time head coach. This is the introductory press conference. At times, almost felt like the dude was crying, which passion is something we could use in the city right now at the head coaching position. And it could also be, I'll fully admit, it can hinder you as well. But I don't think Dan Campbell is that type of guy. He seems to be like a stand-up type of guy. The fact that, one of the reporters went ahead and asked him that bullshit question about, I don't even fucking need these headphones in right now. But they asked him that bullshit question about when he was at A&M and made what could be seen as an anti-gay comment. It wasn't really anti-gay. It was kind of just pro-straight, you know what I'm saying? But he didn't have to answer that. He could have dismissed that. He could have kind of gone at him or came at that guy with the attitude, but he didn't. He addressed it, and I respect him for that, man, because I fully admit if I was asked that question and I'm in the position that Dan Campbell's in, I would have been a little like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't, man. He answered the question, and I respect that. Again, guys, this is just a press conference. We're not in the field yet. We don't know who we have coordinator spots, but I feel like as a leader, so far, he seems to be 100% there. A hot topic that people want to touch on is the Stafford stuff. They're all kind of dancing around it, but I do respect the fact that they're not off rip saying we're keeping them. You know what I'm saying? And that's enough to let me know that if they find a solution to escort him out of here, because truthfully, at this point, we know, guys, as much as Matthew Stafford gave us great moments, and I'll fully admit he's a good quarterback. He's not a bad quarterback, but he's also not the answer. He's definitely not the answer or solution to our problems at $25 million a year. You know what I'm saying? He is a $19 million cap hit if we lose him this year, whether it's trade or cuts. I doubt we're going to cut him for trade. Yeah, I could see that, but like, what are we truly going to get for him? Guys, the cap space is a big thing in the NFL. Matthew Stafford has a big fat ass cap, and I don't know how well that's gonna go during trade obligations. But let me know how you guys feel too, man. I'm clicking some of these comments. I'm sold on Dan. Izzy777 says, I'm sold on Dan, even if he doesn't want me to be sold on him. Well, he don't want you. Why would he want you to be sold on him? Dr. Detroit is down with Dan. That's what's up, man. Troy says, I wonder if he would run the same defense or switch it back. I have a question for you guys. Please comment and help me out with this one. I'm thinking it through my head right now. What do the Patriots run a 3-4 all the time? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I said attacking, so I'm wondering too. Carlos is a troll. That guy's a troll for asking that question, but I definitely respect him for answering that. He said, let the young player play and experienced QB back him up. Ooh, baby. He said kind of as a joke a little bit in the beginning too, but I don't know where he was going with that. He kind of danced around it. Dan sounds like he gets it. Attack the weaknesses. Put your playmakers in matchups that they can win. 1,000%, man. That's like, I think that's the go-to philosophy. I'm not a head coach. I'm not an NFL coordinator or anything like that. But like, that's how I would coach. And I look at the teams like having success. Obviously, he said that's Sean Payton's, you know what I'm saying, his route to success or his coaching philosophy. And look at New Orleans Saints. They've been doing it 15 plus years. Like you said, I think Drew Brees, I mean, I know he had spent some time in San Diego and whatnot, but 20 seasons in the NFL, 10 seasons in the post, you know what I'm saying, in the postseason, making it to the playoffs. So, I mean, that's a great coaching philosophy to have. I know he spent majority, the best of his years were in New Orleans, and that was under Sean Payton. I'm pumped, man. I'm really even more so pumped. I'm not gonna say I'm pumped to find out these coordinators because we're gonna hear some names and we may get some hires and we don't know who the fuck they are. I'm gonna keep it real with you. So, and we may look it up and then be pumped afterward. But I can't. I'm right away based off who the name is and whatnot. But I'm excited just to usher a new era as far as like leadership in the organization. Yep, not some silly system that we'll figure out after 4 games. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, be a fucking chameleon. Change game to game because they can't prep for the shit you did last week because you're not going to do the same shit this week. They got to prep to fucking bolster where they're weak at. It's like, oh, fuck. They know we're our secondary is weak. You know what I'm saying? They know our right side is weak. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes it harder for teams to prep against you as well when you're playing that chameleon style. Like you have no true identity other than beating motherfuckers up. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of that, he said he wants to do that too. He said he wants to, I was dying and I wish that this wasn't live. Otherwise, I would have cut the clip and put it up here. Somebody, he said he wants the team to take on the identity of the city, and he wants opposing teams or people who come here and visit to leave the city beat up. And he like corrected himself because obviously Detroit has a bad rep. He's like, well, not like the tourists and stuff like that, which was pretty funny. Another moment that I think back on that press conference was Don Molbeck. Somebody asked him if he's surprised that Don's still here because Big Don was on the team when Dan Campbell was here in Detroit. The Mule, they called him, and he almost spit out his water. That shit was funny as hell. Let's get some of these comments real quick too. Yep, not the sum. Yep, I sent that one. The offensive coordinators, specialists in training, mobile quarterbacks. Did they sign? Did they officially sign him though? You know what I'm saying? Hey, Biwata. Shout out to Steve-O. If you guys don't know, I cover lots of MMA on this page. We got some for you today too, and today's not Thursday. I'm tripping. I woke up briefly right before the press conference. McNabb, Vic Jackson are some among his developments. Who is the offensive coordinator, Dr. Detroit? I missed that one. If it came out in the news, I seen the defensive coordinator was rumored to be the defensive back from the Saints, which I'm not necessarily mad at. When I think back to a secondary coach as a defensive coordinator, I think back to Terrell Austin as well, who did a great job. Granted, he had a phenomenal roster to game plan with. We had guys like Dominican Sue, Nick Fairley, Ziggy Ansah. I do think, though, and as much as everyone wants to call this a retooling, I don't necessarily see our team as that. I think this is a rebuild. I think that we need a lot more pieces. I think I get the will part. I'm saying he said he could will yourself, and you can strategize and coordinate to get W's. I mean, football is as much a chess game as it is physicality, and maybe even more so a chess game. But on the defensive side, I feel like you do need those playmakers, and we definitely lack that. In the draft, I'm not big on college ball. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys, so I can't name anyone who's coming out of here that's gonna for sure be a stud for us. The number 7 pick and on the defensive side of the ball. But then again, who really can? You know what I'm saying? We see these guys come out with mock drafts and obviously guys become busts in the first round every single year. But we keep my fingers crossed that the GM that we have now and Brad Holmes will be able to provide that value for us because maybe it's said, around the league, it's rumored around the league that this guy does know those things. He's not the guy to draft busts. He has been taking studs in the late rounds, and I have my opinion on that. Some people, don't like it, but it is what it is, man. James Urban is being looked at hard. Is that a college guy? Dan didn't BS us. He said, call a spade a spade. More players to get excited about on offense than defense. Yeah, for the draft or for like our team. I think both sides, for the draft and the team. Micah Parsons, he's a stud linebacker from Penn State. We shall see, man. I don't know if he'll make it to number 7, though. You know what I'm saying? That's the name I was looking at, too. He said he should be there at 7. Shit, you guys want to look at the draft order? We could do that right now. A couple of guys from the DSA I invited. If you guys want to have in the chat, let me know your opinion on the press conference and what the Detroit Lions got going on. I gotta be excited, man. I'm excited just from the fact that we're moving on from the old regime. I can't say that I'm upset. I was upset originally when we didn't hire Ed Dodd, but I'm gonna give this dude Brad Holmes a chance. I don't have any choice, bro. I'm a Lions fan, and I don't want him to fail. And it's not that I thought he was bad and anything like that. I just kind of unproven commodity for me. Obviously, I mean that's most case with new general managers. But also, I just wanted Ed Dodds. That was my disappointment in it. Let's look at the NFL draft order, though. Let's check this out. Let's see if this one does. I'm gonna look at some mock drafts too. We shall see. I'm letting this load before I put it on the screen, guys. I don't want like glitching up and chopping up the screen and shit. Let's see what we got in the comment section though. Micah is Jared Davis to me. No. Jared Davis, no, come on now. I thought Micah like rushed. No allow, fan ballot. Okay. They're giving me last year's draft. That's not what I want. But I am excited to have a guy who is a draft specialist rather than a pro specialist, just because I feel like you build heavily on those rookie contracts. Like I did a whole video when I said it's time for Stafford to go. A lot of people were mad at me for that, but a lot of it is not really based upon his performance. Somewhat is performance, yes. But other than that, like the contract saying you need to fill out the entire team. You need to win on both sides of the ball, or just at least contain and have some playmakers on one side of the ball. And when you're paying your quarterback fucking like 3/4 of your salary, you can't do that, man. This is not a reality. If you look back throughout history, if you guys watched the video I did on Matthew Stafford and why it was time for him to go, is like there's never. I think the average salary of a Super Bowl winning quarterback is like, I don't even want to speak on it because I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's way less than what Matthew. Okay, it was $8 million. That's what it was. Yeah, because Matthew Stafford's was double that. You know what I'm saying? So like, and then these guys who get the big contracts, talented or not, they stop making those Super Bowl trips. The highest paid quarterbacks to win Super Bowls was Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, and those guys are arguably GOATs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Micah Parsons could be Von Miller if he's used to as a pass rusher. Yeah, that's how I thought that's why my understanding with Micah Parsons was he's a pass rusher. That's why they really compare him to Jared Davis at all. I just want a QB. It doesn't have to be first round either. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning away from the first round quarterback thing. I was like really heavy on it just because I was a fan of the talent that was there. But you can find quarterbacks elsewhere. I'm going to keep it real, but I also wouldn't be mad at a quarterback the first round. I was watching another podcast the other day, the Detroit Lions one specifically, and they're talking about taking a receiver in the first round. And I was like, yo, y'all tripping, bro. I was fucking with it. I was vibing with it. You know what I'm saying? My man spoke really well. They just spoke well. And, and the show was produced well. But when they said talking about taking a receiver in the first round, I had to cut that shit off, man. I said, come on, man. The fuck out of here with that. You look at teams like the fucking Steelers who've been having like stud wide receivers. They ain't took a receiver in the first round since fucking God knows when. Shit. Unicorns. Stafford getting paid like an elite quarterback right now. Exactly. He's getting paid like an elite quarterback, but he's not performing like an elite quarterback. Dr. Troy, I was going to click on yours, but somebody else commented. It was Troy, and he said even the Pats didn't want to pay Brady. That should tell us all we need to know. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You can't win when you're paying your quarterback the whole damn cap space. It's just not realistic. You need to fill out other spots of the ball. And I think what New England did is you saw him sign Darrelle Revis. You saw him pay Stephon Gilmore. You saw him pay for the elite secondary and eliteness on the defensive side of the ball. Like, let's get it, man. I'm not a big fan of paying a lot of people too much money, to be honest with you, because I feel the same way too, like next man up, because football, you're going to get hurt. It's going to happen regardless. And so that's why I'm going to give Brad, that's the part I'm excited about Brad Holmes is like, yeah, draft us some depth, because I feel like with Bob Quinn, we did not have that. As much as he had found some picks in the later rounds, I will give him that. We did not have any depth from his drafts. Trey Lance at 7. I am betting if they pick the O coordinator from Baltimore. We shall see, man. We shall see. I'm hearing a lot of rumors that we may trade out of it or trade down. I'm surprised when the reporters asked Dan about Galladay. I mean, that's more of a GM question. A guy they not getting paid in Detroit. We can't afford to pay him, bro. For keeping it real, at this point, we can't afford to pay Kenny Galladay. I fully admit Kenny Galladay is fucking dope. He's an amazing wide receiver. I think he's even fucking cooler. And I apologize for swearing, but I think he's even cooler. He's a 3rd-round pick. I respect that, and I always root for guys like that because I think those are like the dopest stories. And I'm not mad at dude for sitting out of a shitty season with a shitty coach because he wanted to get paid at the end of it because we didn't pay him going into it. He's on a 3rd-round deal, and he's playing it phenomenally. You know what I'm saying? He's a Pro Bowl talent on a 3rd-round deal. I'm gonna stay to get some bread too. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna reserve myself to actually get paid and be utilized in a winning, you know what I'm saying, situation and manner too. I ain't mad at that. You know what I'm saying? With my man fucking Patricia, I'm not risking my livelihood at that point. Not livelihood in terms of like life and death and whatnot, but like livelihood of like your your family, your kids, taking care of your mom, your dad. I'm not risking that to play for a coach like Patricia who's not giving me results and wins and W's. Like, I'm sorry. And I'm not being paid. Like, I'm sitting my ass down too. The kneecap's about to get bit. Maybe. I will say the generation, the era, and like, you know, they can't even run Oklahoma drills anymore. So like, it's the NFL's really cracking down on that stuff. Obviously, you have COVID rules with limiting contact with players too. So like, we may be able to spare some kneecaps. I will say. I wouldn't be mad if we didn't sign him because his receiver class is stacked. You could get a stud receiver in the 3rd or 4th round, but please do not take a receiver in the 1st or 2nd round. Yeah, man, I'm not a big fan of taking receivers in the 1st round. I get that some talent is phenomenal and it's hard to pass up. I guess. I mean, I'll say that, but it's just not. Receivers is not that. You know what I'm saying? You don't need a stud wide receiver to win a Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm trying to think. So, I mean, we got the Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship this coming weekend. They do have Devontae Adams, but they also have Aaron Rodgers. On the other side of the ball, NFC Championship, hella receivers, but not really being utilized. I think in the win that Tom Brady had, only 199 yards. I don't know if those receivers, they make Tom Brady look good, especially at this point in his career. Yes, committee, you are right. What did committee say? Oh, about the receiver thing. Yeah, I 1,000% agree. You can find a gym in the 3rd or 4th round at receiver. Exactly, man. Like these receivers, man, you find them like fucking left and right. Like they fall off the damn tree. And if anybody wants to tap into, man, and give their opinion on the Dan Campbell press conference, the Dan Campbell presser, I just shot the link down in the comments, man. Feel free to hop in. I'm looking for the 2020 draft thing, but I don't know why Google just won't give me your draft. Probably just put NFL draft. It's probably my fault. But we shall see. I kind of want to look at the teams that need quarterbacks, the teams that can afford to go elsewhere other than quarterback. Let me check that out now. I did drop the link in the comments, guys. If you guys want to hop in, give your opinion real quick. I'm pulling up the draft order right now. All right. Here we go. And this is the part where I said my computer finna go laggy, but I'm gonna pause this video. Just like my man Dan Campbell paused. No, I'm playing. I'm not gonna go there. All right. So number 1, Jacksonville Jaguars. I think obviously they're going quarterback. Number 2, New York Jets. It was rumored they want quarterback. They were in the runnings for my man from Clemson, but now we're hearing that they may go elsewhere because they do have a. How do you guys feel about Sam Darnold? They do have Sam Darnold. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a for sure thing that they're going to take a quarterback. They actually have they're talking about here. The Jets missed out on their number 1 overall pick. They used their only number 1 pick to select wide receiver Keyshawn Johnson in 1996. The Jets have picked second twice, selecting wide receiver Johnny Lamb Jones in 1980 And running back Blair Thomas, okay, we don't give a fuck. If they're taking a wide receiver number 2, they're idiots. Miami Dolphins, they're a team that could benefit from a wide receiver. I don't think they're in the quarterback runnings. But who knows, man? Flowers, I believe his name is there. He has no problem showing his non-commitment to a quarterback. So I wouldn't be surprised. I would be absolutely surprised if they took a quarterback there. But look at Houston, man. That blows, man. You had 3rd overall pick and then just traded away. I don't remember who they got in that trade, but that sucks, man. My only issue is scheme on D. Would like to know more. Yeah, and we'll find out more. That is a good point. The issue too with my scheme on D for these guys is the fact that like we're ass, bro. Like on defense side of the ball right now, we are fucking trash, man. I don't even see pieces that like build off of. I think I like Trey Flowers. I don't know if Deshaun Hand's going to be here next year. I don't know his necessarily his contract situation. If we have to keep Stafford, I can see us getting wide receiver Chase. But Stafford leaves Parsons from Penn State or QB Patricia Sustain. Is that another Patricia Sustain? Is that another quarterback name or cornerback name? Hell no, Mike. A shout out to you. Please hit that subscribe button. Like button too, guys, because if you guys aren't subscribing, that'll bring other people here to subscribe, or at least to the channel to see if they want to subscribe. But wide receiver in the first round for my Detroit Lions, y'all all the way tripping. I'm not with that shit. I'm not with that shit at all. You can't. No, hell no. I'm not. Here's the other thing too, and I'll get the screen back up with the draft order. We've been giving this dude, Matthew Stafford, toys for years on years on years. He literally had Calvin Johnson, one of the greatest toys and pieces to play with of all time when it comes to NFL standard of like receiver. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, if you consider the best, you know what I'm saying? He's in that GOAT conversation. He didn't have the longevity of it, but we all know damn well if Stafford wasn't getting him fucking torn to pieces by having to jump out to catch these passes in the middle of the field and getting killed, he would have been in that conversation, and he still is in that conversation. We've been giving Stafford too many toys to invest another first-round receiver, on top of the fact that we don't know if Stafford's going to be here the year afterward. I'm not that shit. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry if I got hot about that one, but I'm a little fucking heated. I don't want a wide receiver, man. Do you think it was really a joke when Dan said, I've already got guys I want to bring in for coordinators? No, that was a joke. Remember that? Do you really think that was a joke? He has guys he has like in his mind, his favorites and whatnot. But I think after he met with Brad, it sounds like last night that they spoke for hours on end. He said they were up to almost midnight. I think Brad may have opened his mind to at least interview more guys. And that sounds I'm talking on my ass, but that's what it felt like to me. Because he also spoke on the fact that like if I want to hire a guy, and then they're speaking again to the coordinators and whatnot, I'm not just going to do it. I'm going to have the discussion with Brad first. And I think that's what's happening right now. He had guys that he wanted to hire. And I think he said he was joking because kind of dig at picking at, Brad Holmes, because they obviously had a conversation. And maybe Brad was like, no. And he spoke on that through the press conference. I'm not just digging this out my ass. But so I think that was true. I think it was a joke, halfway joke. He probably has guys, but he's going to go do diligence and interview guys. You know what would be a real attraction to me, and I doubt it's the case, but if Brad Holmes had anything to do with hiring Sean McVay, then I'm going to for sure love that GM hire. You know what I'm saying? But he's known as a college scouting guy. I doubt he was too much there to, you know what I'm saying, to be part of the yet. Reggie Bush, LeGarrette Blount, on and on. Smith, Best, that guy just smoked us 2 weeks ago. We talking about? Dr. Detroit, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I'm sorry. I like Smith, the receiver, but late in 20s, not at 7. Yes, thank you. I agree. My man, certified Ocinta, blessed to be here. Hey, Holmes, welcome to the Speakeasy, man. Please head over to YouTube and subscribe. We are almost monetized, and it would mean a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? I'll be very, very, very happy. You know what I'm saying? Muy happy. I don't know how to say happy. I'm sorry, guys. Back to this draft order, though. I want to see if the quarterback's going to be there. It'd be interesting if one of these guys are here, though. One of these quarterbacks are here, and we don't take them. Did Brad Holmes speak to his draft philosophy at all, as far as like taking the best available and whatnot? I don't remember. I might have to run that one back. I was live streaming that one too, but I was actually trying to commentate that one while we were streaming the presser. The motherfuckers were getting mad at me. That shit was funny as hell. Cincinnati Bengals are not taking the quarterback. So here we go. I'm going to count teams that are taking quarterbacks. Quarterback for sure. Possibly quarterback. I was counting him as a quarterback for right now for the Jets. No quarterback for Miami. Ooh, fuck. Quarterback. I'll say Atlanta's taking a quarterback. People are really been hard on Matt Ryan recently. I've never been a big fan of him. Kind of like a Matthew Stafford situation where the stats are there. I mean, Matt Ryan even has MVP, but I think a lot of that season and that success was to do with the guy who's coaching in San Francisco right now. And I can't think of his name right now. Whatever. Possibly 3 QBs off the board at that point. There's 4 hot names. Since he's not taking one, Philly's not taking one. Bam. So we might get one of those quarterbacks might be on the board when it comes to the Detroit Lions. The Lions are picking the top 10 for the 3rd consecutive year. That's so and 26th time in the Super Bowl era. Could they be looking at the successor to 2009 number 1 overall pick, Matthew Stafford? I believe that is the case, and I think that's where we should go. Shit, man. I just don't want a receiver, is all. But we are here to talk about the presser. We're talking about, we just got done with the press conference from Dan Campbell. I like the passion. I am a little bit nervous about the passion and whatnot. I'll subscribe to you under M80 Oshinta. All right, man. I'll subscribe back to you, too, if you got videos. That's something you're trying to do. But as far as my overall take from this press conference, I like the passion, and I like the will over talent aspect, I guess, that he spoke on. Like, he doesn't just want 52 guys. He wants the 52 right guys. And I think that's, what you need. You need people to buy into your culture. You need people to be on board. And he's not necessarily a totalitarian type dude. It seemed like he's a leader, and he spoke on allowing guys to be themselves and whatnot. So I don't think there's going to be too much rift in the locker room, if any. I don't think there will be a rift in the locker room at all, especially, from what these guys just came from with Matt Patricia. So I'm excited to, I guess, start fresh. I don't like speaking on these coaches often anymore after the Matt Patricia thing because, we were sold the bill of goods that he was a truth. He was the guy. This guy could have been a rocket scientist. He was a genius, X and O's guy, but the leadership quality there was not. So I think that's probably most important when running an organization, I think, is the leadership. And I think we have that with Matt Campbell. I call him Matt Campbell purposely because he referred that to himself a couple of times for the press conference. I don't know what that was about. Maybe we'll find out shortly. I did send out the link to the guys in DSA to see if they want to join, but I don't think they are. But I have 44 people in this fucking chat right now. That's what's up, man. That's what's popping, baby. What up, though? Welcome to the Speakeasy, man. I like how he handled that bad question. He answered it straightforward like a grown man. Troy, yes, and I've spoken that too. The bad question from I don't even care to name the dude's name. I don't even know who it was, but he asked him a dumbass question as far as like the comments he made in the past, and he respectfully answered, man. I did want to wrap this up, but we got 47 people in the chat, man. This shit's going way too strong, man. I gotta keep this rocking and flowing and going for a minute, dog. What up, though, baby? It's 47 of y'all. Somebody comment what y'all want in the draft. Somebody comment what you think about Dan Campbell. Somebody comment what you think about Brad Holmes. Is he the real deal? We shall see, man. We shall see. And speaking of Brad Holmes, let's look at some of the Rams draft classes. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do with you guys because I did. Everyone wanted to throw in my face the Pro Bowlers he drafted or and the pieces he took in late rounds that became starters and stuff like that. But no one could really say names. No one could really say names beyond motherfucking, the big ones. Hey, 40 watching at 10 likes. Hit that button. Dr. Detroit, shouts out to you. Shouts out to you. Thank you for that, man. For sure. Your thoughts on giving him a 6-year deal? That is more of like a headline topic to talk about, the 6-year deal, because all in all, even with the actual talent on the field, those contracts aren't guaranteed. It's not the NBA. It's not the MLB. They could have given him a 100-year deal. You know what I'm saying? But if he's not getting the job done within, 3 or 4 years, it's gone. You know what I'm saying? That the 6 years means nothing because there's no commitment to it on the Lions side of having to pay it. It would be a bigger concern if it was a situation like that, though. But in NFL, especially with coaches, it's not. So the 6-year deal, as far as like being concerned about it or like just be curious about it, I'm not too concerned about that. But I guess analyzing it, like taking a step back and analyzing it, I think we need to step away. I think the retooling is more to like feed the fans to keep them like drinking the Kool-Aid and hyped up and stuff like that. But like if we're cutting the BS from it, a 6-year deal looks like a rebuild to me. You know what I'm saying? They asked him that question too. They asked him, is a 6-year deal more of the standard of the industry, or is it more of like, I guess they're trying to find, is it more to give understanding to the rebuild that we're heading into? And Rod Wood, the Lions president, really didn't answer it straightforward. I think he neglected to speak on the length of the contract and whatnot. So, but I think that was more so 6-year deal. I think we got to expect a rebuild at this point. A lot of people saying a retool, but I don't believe so, man. Bless up. He said, bless up, G. We out here, Las Vegas Raiders, man. Shouts out to Las Vegas for grabbing the Raiders. I feel so bad for Oakland, though, man. I like such rich history there. And for them to leave, I think that was really how I don't know what's going on with that situation, man. All these teams running to Cali. Fucking San Diego had a squad, but they left to LA. South Dakota football teams, man. I mean, the Rams were LA originally, but the Chargers should just go on somewhere, man. Chargers need to get somewhere else. I think it's really how the Rams copied the Chargers logo, too. That shit was really weird to me. I give Campbell 3 years to develop this team. You know how I feel about this, E. Yeah, 3 years is fair enough, man. I think he's going to need at least 2. At least 2. Because say if you get this quarterback, you know what I'm saying, the guy who's replacing Stafford this year, he's going to need this year before he's like a finished product. As great as who's my man starting for the Chargers this year at quarterback. I can't think of his name, but as great as he was this year, Justin Herbert. We obviously see that team didn't, go to a playoff. They didn't go 500. So, giving us, another quarterback to replace Stafford with this year, obviously not going to do much with. And then the second year, total toss up in the air. But shit, maybe they can do it. By 3 years, I think is just about right, Sean. Shout out to Sean, the SK Sports Podcast Show. Speak easy. If you guys are new to this channel, we're kind of a collective. You know what I'm saying? There's 3 main guys. There's me, my cousin Aaron, and Sean is newly acquired to the YouTube channel. He'll be doing lots of sports interviews and whatnot. Sean, if you can, comment what interview you're doing later this week so I can let them know and then keep an eye out for that and check you out too. But my cousin Aaron, big Detroit head, Detroit sports fan, which obviously I am too. But my goal with the channel is to cover all sports. I'm big in MMA too. The coaches are guaranteed money. The Browns are still paying Hugh Jackson money. Ooh, Alex Sims with some facts. Hey, shout out to Alex Sims, man, providing some valuable information. I did not know that. I will Google this question myself, though, because now I am curious because I've seen this both ways now. So, are NFL coaching contracts guaranteed? Here we go. Look, there's already a question Googled. Okay. So, and I'll put this on the screen for you guys too, so you can read as well. Look at that. Shout out to Alex Sims in the comment section, man, dropping knowledge on us. Give me 1 second here. I clicked the wrong button. I'm just getting a little too excited here. All right. Boom. All right. So this says NFL playoffs. Ooh, I don't know why it's playoffs, but unlike players, coaches are generally given a fully guaranteed contract, which means they're paid for the duration of the contract, even if they get canned. Okay. Just say generally though. So let's see. This is from 2015. This is from 2018. We'll go to this article. I can take that on the screen too if you guys don't want to share the screen. I just want to read it for myself to get an actual answer. 7-figure salary. What terms do these head coaches face in their contracts? Termination. Football fans often hear the term 3-year contract for some other determinable number of years. However, it is most NFL coaching contracts that a coach can be terminated with very little notice as long as there's a specific cause. How does this work? It usually hinges on a requirement that coaches leads the team agreed upon win-to-loss ratio. Withhold salary. NFL coaches' contracts contain provisions negotiated between coaches and the league regarding the NFL's right to withhold some or all of coaches' salary during a lockout. Oh, wow. NFL coaches have a union. Coaches have the option and are encouraged to join the NFL Football League Coaching Association, while some critics call attention to the NFLCA for giving coaches too much bargaining power. Many coaches enjoy the benefits of collective bargaining. At this time, Bill Belichick is only not a member of it. Contracts are crucial. Your employment contract may or may not include $4 million payout, but the terms of any contract are nevertheless still very important. If you need a highly skilled contract lawyer, dog, I'm trying to find out if these fucking shits is guaranteed, bro. Tell me. Well, it looks like from a Google search they are guaranteed. Shout out to Alex Sims for dropping some knowledge in the comment section. Oops, rebuild. Yep, it is, man. I mean, we'll keep it real. Herbert was the name I was looking for. Shouts out to you. Shout out to Cody Paul, and shout out to his cousin Jake and Logan. I fucks with Logan. Jake a little wild, but you know what I'm saying? Shout out to them in the state of Ohio, except for Ohio State. I'm playing. Why did Matt Patricia prefer to hurry up offense? But when I banged his wife, she begged me to slow down. Because, man, you know what I'm saying? My man Matt Patricia, he finishes fast. You know what I'm saying? He has that dagger time. You know what I'm saying? That's what he says when he finishes in that bedroom. He constantly saying, dagger time, dagger time. It's dagger time. That's what he says when he's ready to throw that dick down on his wife. You know what I'm saying? Rising John Giants practice squad tight end tomorrow. And Appalachian State defensive back Ryan Huff this Saturday. Shouts out to the SK Sports Podcast Show. Those interviews will be on the motherfucking. Well, I don't know which one will, but one of them will. Which one, Sean? Let us know, man. Let us know. So what's going on with our defensive coordinator now? Is it still going to be Glenn? I think it's going to be Glenn. I think that they're still kind of dependent on other interviews and if they're impressed elsewhere. But it seems like my man Dan Campbell is most impressed with Quinn. I'm sorry. I believe it's Gwen, if I'm saying that right. Glenn. Troy, I'm crying. That's my man Matt Patricia screaming in the bedroom. We about to finish. Dagger time. But shit, man. I give you a trade cause. I hear Miami might want to trade Tua for Stafford. I'm cool. He's more, from what I've seen, he's more of a game manager. He's really intent to throw that football. I listened to interviews with him and not with Tua, but with Fitzmagic was speaking on Tua and his growth and whatnot. And he's just like, hey, you know, he's just kind of scared to pull the trigger sometimes. And that's obviously what it looked like to me. And if you look at the numbers, is what it looked like. If I'm mad at having a game manager, no, because some game managers go to Super Bowls. But I mean, whatever. I mean, fuck it. It's a rookie contract. Maybe we'll take it. But I'd rather have one of these guys in this draft this year. I think I like these guys a lot better. I like the tangibles that they have. I think Tua is supposed to be like Russell Wilson and my other guy too, with the running the football, making plays and whatnot. And I just didn't really see it. It's more of a game manager aspect from him. I'd rather take the chance of a playmaker too, though. To be honest. Give me 1 second, guys. Would you be upset if Kenny Galladay went to Chicago? He grew up in Chicago, might be a Bears fan. I would be upset having to fucking play him 2 times a year. He's a phenomenal athlete. He's a phenomenal wide receiver. That would suck. He would damage us. Absolutely. I'd be upset. Would I be upset if he left the team? It's going to suck to see him go, but I think we have to digest it right now. Right now, if you're listening, you're a Lions fan, digest the fact that Kenny Galladay is most likely not going to be on this team next year. Just digest it now. Whether he ends up Chicago or elsewhere, just take him out of the squad right now in your head. Get it over with, man. Just let yourself take it on chin, man. Take it on chin like Matt Patricia's wife did for Cody Paul. Hey, that's not a dagger. That's a Swiss Army. That's a Swiss Army knife. That's funny as hell. Ryan on YouTube, Ryan John on IG Live. So make sure you guys follow Speakeasy. You'll see Sean on there. I'll make sure he'll post something today. I'll make him post a story and tag himself. So you guys make sure to follow him. If you guys aren't following us already, man, I'll put our Instagram down too. A lot of people want to be active on Twitter, but I'm just keep it real with y'all. Social media ain't my thing. So we're a lot more active on Instagram as a team, but we will work on the Twitter game too. I want Deshaun. Deshaun is nice, but I'm gonna keep it real with you. I don't want Deshaun. Maybe before I made that Stafford video, I would have said I wanted Deshaun. But again, these quarterbacks with these big contracts, they never pans out, man. It just doesn't, based off history. And not only did the numbers since Matthew Stafford was drafted, but that was also the last year that rookies could have unlimited contracts before they put in slots or cap spaces. Before they started capping the rookie contracts. And the numbers are only going to get bigger from here. I don't want Deshaun. I hate to say it, but he's great. He's a phenomenal player. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind having a brother for the team, but for the numbers that Deshaun signed at, I'm good on Deshaun. We just saw the Texans go a losing season with him, and I'm good on him. Our bros say less, but they would never do that. I don't know what they said. I think they're talking about Tua. Tua and third for Stafford. I would take that just because I see the value in a third-round pick, especially if a GM like like Brad Holmes, and he's been hitting on third and second-round picks. Yeah, give me that. I'll take that. I ain't mad at that at all. Find a way to get Stafford in New Orleans and work a multi-term team deal to get Deshaun Watson. Nah, man. See, I'm good on Deshaun Watson. But what's up with these ladies in your picture, though, fam? What's up with them? Hey, who that? Who that gonna beat them girls? You know what I'm saying? Speaking of New Orleans, who that? But no, man, I'm good, man. I am so good on Deshaun and that contract, bro. I love him as a player. I love watching him. But I'm good on that contract. If I'm taking a big contract from any quarterback right now across the league, give me Russell Wilson. Because at least and a lot of these guys with big contracts that are really, really good, I mean, better than Stafford, let's keep it real, are in the playoffs. I can't tell you, you can't tell me that Russell Wilson had a defense this year. Rushing attack, yes. But when you guys look and you rank these teams at rushing, let's not forget with teams like Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray, and those are quarterbacks that run the football. You know what I'm saying? He said he wanted to be here. Talking about Stafford? Stafford for sure. Oh, Kenny Galladay. Come on, man. That's just like that's telling what they want to hear. You know what I'm saying? He makes commission on his jersey sales. You know what I'm saying? The team that's selling his jersey right now is a Lions. So, I'm going to tell Detroit, I want to be here too. I don't care what happens. This is by far the worst franchise in NFL history with loyal fans. Bottom line, we need playoff wins and a shot at the Super Bowl. A lot of the slap happy, Kool-Aid drinking motherfuckers would hate to admit it, but I think we are for sure bottom 3 franchises in the NFL, and we need some fucking shit to happen. It's too many times throughout my life that the Lions have been alongside bottom tier teams, and then we see those teams rise to playoffs and Super Bowls. I think the 49ers were one. The 49ers were terrible a little while ago, and bam, next thing you know, they're in the Super Bowl. Jacksonville Jaguars were a laughingstock at some point. They almost went to a goddamn Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? They lost to the Patriots. The Jets, they've been bad. They're bad now, but again, they've won some playoff games. We are one of the worst franchises. We got to keep it real. I am ready for a change. That hurts to lose Galladay, but I know he's going to want a big bag. He's for sure going to want a big bag. He deserves a big bag. He can ball, man. We can't keep making unilateral moves that will keep us at the same or worse level forever. And I honestly agree. Honestly, get rid of Stafford, draft a quarterback and defense. Yes, still rise. I'm with that 100%. Russell Wilson was better before he sent for Sierra. Yeah, his team was better too, though, man. Let's be real. His team was better. Robinson's the same thing in Chicago. Yeah, Robinson's a Detroit native. It's the same thing. He wants to come home. I would love to have him come home. That's another situation where you're looking at a contract similar to Kenny Galladay's. He's going to get another big payday too. I think there's a little bit of a pipe dream for the Detroit fans to keep saying that, we want Robinson and we have a chance at Robinson. It's just that, you know what I'm saying? That's a big contract too. And unfortunately, with paying Matthew Stafford as much money as we do every single year and having to fill out spots on the defense and sign rookie draft class and whatnot, we may not be able to afford a big contract like that at the receiver position. And again, it's just one of those positions where it's replaceable. Let's keep it real. There was something that made me question that what I just said is this year the Browns played a game without the wide receivers and they looked pretty bad. So that made me, I will say that, you do need wide receivers, but you don't need fucking the cream of the crop. Maybe you need one. You need one guy's cream of the crop. That sigh is what all of us feel. Yeah, man. Yeah, the Browns, perfect example. Yeah, I just spoke on them too. The Browns, one of those teams that turn it around, man. Philly says, sorry, I don't know why my cap lock was on. You're good, man. I don't even know if I must have passed to skip through the comment, man. But guys, we got 38 people in this motherfucking chat. I gotta tap in someone. Sean, man, join, man. Where you at, Sean? What you doing? Because I do got a baby. Your boy Easy is a Papa Bear. But I want to go check on him. They're upstairs. Oh, hold on. Alex Sims just said something. I do got to show some respect to Alex Sims. He dropped some knowledge earlier. He said, do you think the Lions will resign anybody? Jared Davis Marvin Jones or Romeo Okwara. I think Romeo Okwara is one I would be interested in signing as a Lions fan myself. Jared Davis, keeping it real. And speaking on what Still Rise 4485 said, like, we are bottom tier franchise. These guys are free agents, and that they have choices of where they want to go. And after the experience that Jared Davis had here, after the experience that Marvin Jones had here, the question is, are they going to want to re-sign here? Romeo Okwara, he may be a guy that we see the potential in, because for some reason I feel like other teams aren't as high on him. And I don't even know if we're high on him. We have a whole completely new regime. But I think it's just something in my heart and my stomach tells me, I think it's just Romeo Okwara is going to be the guy we bring in. And I'm about to do real quick, actually. Let me do this. I did not know the NFL coaching contracts were guaranteed, though. That was an interesting fact. But let me. Sorry, guys, I'm just typing something real quick too. Let's get. I'm gonna play something for you guys. I'm real quick. Let's see. If you guys are new here too, man, I got a whole. We do podcasts as well. I like going live. I love talking about my Lions and whatnot. But we also do podcasts. One of the podcast guests that we had is former Detroit Lion Darius Slay. Shout out to him for taking the time to come on the show. That was an awesome experience. We also had Glover Quinn. That was super dope too. Man, if you guys are still here in the comment section, let me know. I'm gonna put a video on real quick and check my son. But which clip do you want? You want the Darius Slay clip or the Glover Quinn clip? I'm gonna be really. Slay was because that's one of my players who were here while I was here in Detroit. But I'm not gonna lie, Glover Quinn drops some now on me. But whatever comment, let me know. I'll put it on real quick. Just let me know, man. Yeah, I don't think Holmes is going to re-sign many guys, if any. Glenn might run a different style, which would need different players. Yeah, what are the Saints on there at 4-3? Slay. Let's go. Slay all day. Say less, fam. I'm about to put it on right now. Hopefully I don't got no copyrighted music in there. I don't remember though. I asked Slay, because the Lions are rough. I asked him, hold on real quick, actually, because I did not put the audio on for this one. I asked him, what's the difference? You know what I'm saying? Because I know the Eagles had a bad year this year, but they did win Super Bowl. They've been to 2 Super Bowls. I asked him, why, what's different? Speaking of the D, I know we're not the greatest organization. I know Philly got them a ring recently. Can you feel the difference, I guess, culturally, like with an organization that's had success?
Well, it's a lot different because I feel like the owners and everyone that did affiliated with the Eagles, they're around a lot, and in Detroit, Mrs. Ford, she was just, she'd come to practice some days, but I don't think she was just like around a lot, but she knew her players, knew most of them, the ones that she needed, and but over here in Philly, man, that's all it is around here, football. So you from the top down, from the owner to the janitor, they know from players from scratch to finish. They know players that been in and out of the building, and so that's why I think it is. It's just that the fact that that's all they breed here is just football. So they live and die by football here.
Yes, that's interesting to hear, because I always wonder, because a lot of fans here always scream fire the owners, or you can't fire the owner. But it's something what I'm saying, it's the owner, it's the owner. But I'm always they don't make the football decisions, but it's interesting to hear that you said the owner's around and they're obviously more.
Yeah. I think definitely our owner here is in Philly. I think he really loves the game of football. He'll pop up the practices out of nowhere. During the middle of the season, all that. So that's the difference. And then with Detroit, you just know Miss Ford. She was just Miss Ford. Ain't too many ladies, as in general. Not saying that she don't know the game of football, but she'll be around something she'll love to see. But obviously she do love the team, but just her intention as in I guess knowing football, just knowing what's a receiver, what's a quarterback, what's all this, what's that, the position, that. Like I think I only know the difference between cover 4 and cover 3. so that's the difference about it. That's it. But they just that's it really.
Yeah, she was getting up there too, man. I don't know if she knew too much what was going on around her, but I never been around her though.
Yeah, she cool though. She nice. She a nice lady. Very nice.
Yeah.
I can't hear you, bro.
I'll do it again. I said, "What up, though, ladies and gentlemen?" What up, though? We're back. I don't really know if that's a commercial break, but whatever. We're back from the little break. I got my man Sean Kieran from the SK Sports Podcast Show, another Speakeasy affiliate. What up, though, baby?
What's going on, man? I had to tap in at some point.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you did, man. Did you get to watch the press conference? I know you're a New York Giants fan. You don't give a fuck. Sean's from New York, by the way, too, guys. But how did you get to tap in for any of that? Did you have an opinion on the hiring?
I didn't catch the press conference, but more of what I caught was about when we were getting into the contract discussions, and with coaches, I know you were scrolling through it online but their contracts, like money wise, they're guaranteed, unlike certain players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know how I feel about this situation. For him, I think you need to give this guy 3 years to develop a team. I think that's plenty of time to get a team on the map and just basically have a goal of heading into the postseason. I mean, that should be within 3 years. You should be all right. You should be building a really good culture, and for a reason for the fan base, like you, Easy, to have faith in this team moving forward. I mean, if it takes longer than 3 years, if it's going to take the 4th, 5th year of this contract, that's a major problem, man. It can't take that long.
Yeah, and I think too, I guess the other question would be the preface to that, or I guess devil's advocate maybe is, where at what point are we happy? Do we want a playoff berth? Is that what we're looking for? Or are we looking for a playoff win within those 3 years?
For your fan base, I think you guys want a playoff win.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a lot more. Yes, to get to the dance is amazing just to get there, of course, but you guys need a win. If you can get a win, no matter how you get in there, if you end up, obviously you guys won't be winning the division anytime soon. I hate to say that, but that's just being realistic. But as a wild card team, I mean, you just need to win that wild card round. I think that's the goal right now for this team, is just to get there, establish a culture, and get that first win in the playoffs, and then you move on from there.
Yeah. So, we got him here. 3 years from now, let's say we make the playoffs once in the second or third year. Third year we make the playoffs, but we don't get the W. Are you firing him or are you keeping him? Or is it just based upon other things too? I know it's kind of hard.
It's definitely based upon other things, because if you make the postseason at least one time in 3 years, I'll give that to him for sure, because I don't know if anyone is expecting that guy to do this. I don't think anyone, big time analysis and stuff, I don't even know if they have Detroit in the playoffs within the next 2-3 years. So I think that if he can just squeeze in there his third year, his second year, whatever, it just, like you said, it depends on other areas where you guys are at quarterback wise, how are they playing at each side of the football,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing if I get trying to fit an interview from Ian Rappaport on. I just don't know if it'll fit memory wise. I think it might be too long of an interview to try to clip in here. But he spoke on the hiring too. Same kind of thing though. He said that there's no expectations for him. And I think this bleeds rebuild. The fact that it's 6 years, the fact that the guy doesn't have experience, and it shows you that they're kind of just going all in on hoping something happens, which I'm okay with, because I'm at that point too. I think we've been at that point my entire life as a Lions fan, other than 2014. We had the Dominican Sue and all those guys. Do you have a take on the general managing hire at all?
I don't know too much about this guy. I have to do a little more research myself about him, because I usually know background stuff about a GM, and he's actually somebody that I don't know too much about just yet. But I think it's a decent hiring. Obviously, you have no choice. I mean, since you're a Lions fan, you got to give him a shot because it's either that or then what's the point of even watching the team?
Yeah, no,
So
1,000%.
it like what we were talking about in the comments section about the draft and everything. I am 100% on the same boat with you, Easy. You cannot go receiver in the first round. And just about any other position this guy needs to draft. Anything else, but not a receiver in the first round.
Yeah, no, I agree. Still Rise commented. He says, "It's so crazy to me how this franchise and ownership has had such lack of awareness. Our Lions are laughing stocks. Every Thanksgiving we get airtime, so that's good enough. We usually lose anyway. And that's why I picked that specific Darius Slay video because I wanted to know because people always say like fire the owner, and whatnot, and I never truly understood why owners could be at fault, but." He explained it to me well. It's like you gotta have someone who gives a fuck, and a little bit off the camera too. I don't want to put all this out there, but like he spoke on like the Eagles owner bought the team, so he has like some pride in wanting them to do well. With the Ford situation, it's inheritance. You know what I'm saying it's like this was just given to me, and like it's money. You know what I'm saying at the end of the day, it's like yeah, do you want to win? Yeah, but do you give a fuck? Is there a passion to win? Is there any sense of pride to win? No, because it's fucking like inherited. It wasn't like like you busted your ass and bought it, and now it's like you want to do well. I'm just speaking on like that's the ownership aspect because Troy commented a lack of awareness, and I think that's what it is. I think it's because these guys inherited a team and there's no pride in it. It's really just like a gift or whatever, just handed down.
Yeah, that's how it is with some owners out there, man. I feel like it's just some guys just don't give a flying F what the heck they're going to do. I mean, they'll just bring in whoever, they'll hire whoever. They'll be like, okay, let's give this guy a shot as the GM. Let's give this guy a shot as the coach. Who cares? Let's see what happens. I'm still making money off this. That's how some owners feel.
Yeah.
I think a lot of fans think that, okay, just because they own a team, that means that they put all their time and effort into the team. That's not true. There's a lot of owners out there that just don't care. For example, different sport, but look at the Knicks owner, James Dolan. I mean, does he give a flying F what the heck is going on with the Knicks? No, he doesn't care. He threw out a Knicks legend outside of the Garden last year, Charles Oakley. He threw him out. You believe that?
Yeah.
I mean, what does that tell you just in general sometimes about these owners, man? Some of them just don't care.
No, 1,000%, man. Shout out to everybody rocking with us too in the chat and subscribing and all that stuff, man. I really do appreciate that. And shout out to Sean for tapping in too, man, because I love getting the outsiders take because I do be drinking the Kool-Aid sometimes. I will fully admit I'll be drinking the Kool-Aid sometimes. On this one, I am taking it a step at a time. I'm gonna be relaxed. I'm not gonna be relaxed. I'm gonna react to things, but I'm gonna keep a positive mind going into. I'm gonna give these guys a chance. That's what I'm gonna say with the new regime and whatnot. What do you think they should do with Stafford, though, from an outsider standpoint? Because I know people here, it's a polarizing topic, Matthew Stafford, because you either love him or you fucking hate him. And like, I kind of fall in between, but I also fall in between where, like, I don't hate him, but we don't need him. I'm not in love with the dude. From an outsider standpoint, what is Matthew Stafford to you? And what do you think we should do with him?
Man, he's a good quarterback when healthy, obviously, and I think you guys had your shot with him especially when Jim Caldwell was the head coach, and when you guys had Calvin Johnson, you could have developed more, got more weapons for him, and I think that was your shot with him. And then now, all of a sudden, look at the team, look at the situation, constant coaching changes, now a GM change. I think it's time to move on from him. I think it's better off for him. I know that might hurt Stafford hearing that, like, oh man, I might get dealt, but I think it's better off for him to get into a new system now at this point in his career, because I know doesn't he want to win eventually? Does he want to get to the postseason eventually? I don't see that happening from anytime soon if he stays in Detroit.
Yeah, I think it's time to break up, man. Like, I get it. I get the moments that he had here. I've witnessed them. I felt the passion in all of them. I think the most fucking baller ass one was the one against the Cowboys. That was one I probably remember the most. Matthew Stafford's greatest Detroit quarterback in history. Let him no, Mars, no, man. Like that, like you're like doing this off of like feelings. We need to separate from that. If you're a Lions fan, you're going to want the Lions to do well. And the Lions doing well is without Matthew Stafford. He's the greatest quarterback of our franchise history. We don't have fucking quarterbacks, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have shit to compare to. You know, like it's not saying much in saying he's the greatest quarterback in the franchise history. We're a terrible franchise. Like, and on top of that, teams are winning without him, man. And we can do the same. I'm not scared to fucking leave him, but we just can't win paying him that much money either, man. He's not top tier, not worth paying that. Detroit Lions need to get to Deshaun Watson from Houston Texans this season 2020. No, I'm good on that contract, man. To keep it real with you, that for me, when I look at the quarterback situations, and again, it may have been because I recently did that Stafford video on why we need to leave him, but fucking, I guess the high end quarterbacks that are paid that much money when they get the Super Bowls, it's without the big money. It's when on rookie deals and like other spots of the roster are filled out, along with their like obviously phenomenal play. Like Aaron Rodgers phenomenal, Russell Wilson phenomenal, but once they get that big money, those teams in those other areas they lack, and then you don't see Super Bowl wins from them. The highest paid quarterbacks in the Super Bowl is Peyton Manning and Tom Brady at $19 million. You know, Stafford, like the average salary is $8 million. I'm sorry, I had to correct that. So once they get these big contracts, the teams fail. It's a team sport. You can't pay these guys this much money and expect to win. I'm sorry for talking too much, guys, but how do you feel about Deshaun Watson? Do you think that's like a piece to win with? Or how do you feel about the contract situation and taking him on?
Like, if you guys would make that move now, the major question is how many picks are you going to give up in this specific draft class for him? And now, what are you going to surround him with? You know what I mean? Like, what happens? Let's just say if Galladay, like, if you get, let's just say you trade for Watson before Galladay leaves in free agency, right? Let's just say that would happen. All of a sudden, heads are spinning in that offense. They're probably wondering, okay, is Galladay going to come back? Is Marvin Jones? What is the story there? Who are you going to surround him with? And I'm just not sure if he would thrive in that sort of offense where, especially with a new head coach in Campbell now, I mean, I don't see that really working out. And yes, he's an elite quarterback, Watson, but there's going to be a lot of suitors for him. There's going to be the Jets involved. There's going to be the Dolphins. There's going to be the Niners. There's one other legit team that I forgot, but maybe the Bears possibly. That could be a legit team in on him. But or who knows? Maybe he stays in Houston. Maybe
I was going to say, man, I think he stays even. Yeah, for sure. Because like this is the NBA where guys that can force their way out of teams, you know, and on new rosters and whatnot. It's like the NFL, the money isn't guaranteed for the players. I know we looked it up for the coaches. Shout out to Alex Sims again for dropping the knowledge on that one. But like, I can't really think of too many NFL players who forced their way out into a trade. Maybe Antonio Brown comes to mind, but like, it's usually like, fuck you, you stay here. You're kind of stuck, bud. Like, sorry, we just paid you all this fucking money. We're not gonna take a fucking $20-30 million cap hit to like let you go because you want to throw a fit because you I don't know. This is how I feel.
I'll say this. I think Watson's whole entire perspective changes if they actually hire a coach that he ends up liking. That changes the whole entire perspective all of a sudden. Just watch out. Whoever they hire as their head coach, let's see his reaction to that. Just stay tuned for his reaction for the head coach, because if he really likes it, he isn't going anywhere.
Yeah. I kind of wondered too. This would actually be crazy. Detroit Lions will trade Stafford for Deshaun Watson from Houston Texans this season, 2021. I wouldn't be mad at that. I mean, I guess like just I wouldn't be mad at that. I don't think. Just to see how it fits, just see how it goes. I don't know, because that is doing one thing, getting rid of Stafford, and then I guess you are still taking on that big contract, but I guess you just get to see what it is. I guess that is something you could put into the air because they're both looking. You know, Deshaun Watson wants out. Houston probably wants a quarterback in return. Stafford is from Texas. That might be a thing. Am I tripping?
But let me ask you this: how many first-round picks are you willing to give up? Because they're going to want at least, what I've been hearing, their goal is to get at least 3 first-rounders.
Yeah.
It depends how many first-rounders are you willing to give up and some other picks. That's not it. They're going to ask for a few more after that, too.
I'm not giving up no freaking damn.
Just got to be careful the amount of draft capital you're giving up there.
Yeah. Shout out to
Watson's going to be a great get, obviously. He would. I'm not saying Watson's a terrific talent, has nothing to do with that. But for your specific franchise, that's a really iffy move for me. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it either. Actually, I'm thinking about it. I would be intrigued. It would be a sexy move and somehow to keep our eyes on as a fan base, but as like a franchise, like longevity.
Mm-hmm.
Hell no. To the no. Hell no. Mars Lane said, good luck, rookies. He says Lions make rookie moves. I think keeping Stafford's a rookie move. You look at the Indianapolis Colts, what they do. They let go of arguably the greatest quarterback in history in Peyton Manning, and they bounce right back with Andrew Luck. So Mars Landing, go on somewhere, dog. Oh, you're not even a Lions fan? This guy. I will not cry. Let Stafford go, bro. I don't give a fuck. Like, let him win a ring. I still wouldn't give a fuck. If Stafford wins a ring, he leaves. I don't think that good. Maybe, I don't know. I seen he ranked 28th in completion percentage this year. 29th in completion percentage under a clean pocket. Oof. People tripping on him a little bit, man. People tripping on him a little bit. And talking feelings. Definitely talking feelings. Coach, he said Colts didn't bounce back. Colts are trash too. You sound like you don't know football, bud, because the Colts were in the playoffs this year.
And they're going to be a good team next year. Philip Rivers obviously retired after 17 years playing in the league, but it's going to be really interesting talking about a quarterback carousel this offseason. I mean, where the heck are they going to go with their new starting QB? Jacoby Brissett's a free agent. I don't know if he's going to be the starter moving forward. Is it going to be the rookie Jacob Eason, the kid they got out of Washington? Or is it going to even be Carson Wentz? What are they going to do? It's going to be really interesting to see Indy.
Yeah, that is good. That is good. I wonder what they are going to do with the quarterback position. They're not going to get Deshaun Watson. That's in the same division. They'll never do that. At least I'm talking about the Texans probably would never make that trade. But they definitely got to do something, man. I mean, obviously you can get there without an elite quarterback, but it probably helps your chances when you do have one. But it's like, who is available? And they're late in the draft because they did well this year.
I don't even think they draft somebody in the first round. Like, they have somebody, this kid Jacob Eason already. If they draft a quarterback, I think it'll be later in the draft. But if they're gonna get a quarterback, it's gonna be via trade, or they're gonna go after somebody in free agency as their starting quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's look at the free agents this year. Let's do that. Be fun to do. Look for your Giants too.
Yeah.
Your Giants are one of those teams that are really interested in Kenny Galladay this year. They almost made a trade for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gettleman was actually the reports that were out there about Gettleman's interest was 100% true, because it reminds me of the scenario of going after Leonard Williams. The Giants were out of playoff contention, and they made the move. He gave up a 3rd and 5th round pick for Leonard Williams. And obviously they ended up franchise tagging him to keep him here. Now he's a free agent once again. They're going to have to sign him to a long-term deal. But I know Gettleman wanted to do that move. He wanted to make a trade for Galladay when the Giants were out of the playoff race. But at least he was smart this time around not to give up draft picks while you might have a shot at him in free agency.
Yeah, that was that was the weird part too. Is like the fact that Leonard Williams is going to be free agent. Like, why don't you just throw the money at him now?
Exactly, man.
Or
See,
I
still understand. I still don't understand why he did that, but as long as you got to pay him now, you got to pay him now.
Is this true? Von Miller's a free agent this year?
I thought that didn't he resign with Denver?
Yeah, I wonder if this is maybe like a team option or some shit. Oh, club option. So they can decide to cut him at this year. See the red right there means club option.
If I'm not mistaken, is there like a story going on with Von Miller lately? He's been in the news. I
did see something, man. I saw one domestic thing with his wife. It really was just kind of text, which I thought was stupid. This is like that's like so 2021. Fucking everybody gets mad and says angry text, but there's something else that came up that they did not release the exact information on. So it is kind of weird. It is kind of weird they didn't release it either. The info on it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Leonard Williams, unrestricted free agent. I would love to get him, but you think he's re-signing with the Giants?
I want to say he does. I think they need to do everything they can to keep him here. But if he leaves the Giants, watch out for him in Carolina. I think Carolina has a shot at him if he leaves the Giants.
Bud Dupree's a free agent. That's one I like for my Lions. Linebacker from Pittsburgh. Shaquille Barrett, Jacoby Brissett. Patrick Peterson's going to be a free agent this year. Wow.
This free agent class is really good. It's going to be interesting. I mean, the receiving class is really good. Even look at the potential running back free agents. That's supposed to be an interesting class. You have guys like Marlon Mack, Philip Lindsay from Denver. I think Leonard Fournette's a free agent as well. There's some decent running backs out there. I know Aaron Jones hits the market, but I don't think he leaves Green Bay. That would be freaking crazy if he leaves Green Bay. But
yeah, he's staying. I saw him. It depends if Green Bay wants to pay him. I'm surprised they haven't locked him up by now.
Yeah, like I'll give you a team. If somehow Green Bay doesn't lock him up for some odd reason, expect Miami to be in there. I think Miami would end up pursuing him.
Yeah, I think fucking everybody, man. Aaron Jones is actually a really good running back. I'm looking at the quarterback market too, since we were talking about those Colts. I mean, Dak out possibly there. Fitzmagic, Tyrod Taylor, Andy Dalton. Yeah, not that sexy of a free agent market, I guess, for quarterbacks. Joe Flacco's there. Do you give him another chance at starting?
They're gonna have to trade. They're gonna have to make trades, and that's why this quarterback carousel is gonna be really interesting this year, man. Because there's gonna be a lot of movement with free agency, obviously, and then you got trades.
1,000%. We got a Falcons fan in here. He says, "I thought Eric B was a better choice, but we'll see." Eric B for the Falcons or Eric B? Here's my thing about the Eric B stuff too. I think it's time to kill the hype a little bit because the fact that he hasn't gotten hired. Granted, the Chiefs are still in the playoffs and whatnot, but like, kind of speaks like maybe he's not ready.
I don't think he's ready just yet.
Yeah, because the same thing with Robert Salah. People are like, "Oh, you missed out on Robert Salah." Like, I don't think so, man. Like, there were like a lot of vacancies open. A lot of teams interviewed these guys, Eric Bieniemy, Rob Salah, and if they were the guys that they were supposed to be heading into these interviews, they would have been nabbed up. We would have seen reports on them signing deals and whatnot, and that just wasn't the case. So I don't think that they are ready. I think Eric B is kind of really codependent on Andy Reid, and maybe just needs another year of just like being in an organization and maybe studying more of like a head coach's role. I mean, I don't know. I'm not there in the interviews, but we shall see, man. We shall see.
But hey, I mean, if I'm Bieniemy right now, why are you in a rush to leave? I mean, you're running a terrific offense.
Yeah.
I mean, this team every year, as long as you keep that offense gelled together, I mean, you're always going to be a Super Bowl contender coming out of the AFC. You're always going to be involved. You're always going to be in the discussion. So I wouldn't be rushing out if I were him. He has plenty of time to get the opportunity.
Yeah. Shout out to Mars Landing, who can't spell free agents. That was kind of funny. I see that in the comment section. I'm not going to put that comment up there, though. But shit, Sean, I've been out here for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I
now.
see you. Holy shit.
I know, man. I could let you run the show if you want to turn to something else, or you can start a whole new broadcast yourself if you want. I think I might wrap this one up, though, man.
You can wrap this one up, but stay tuned for the episode tomorrow, guys. We have the our preview right to the championship week.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, NFL Championship episode tomorrow. What time? Did we ever agree on a time for that?
Not yet, but I think Frankie said anytime after 2, and any time after 2 for me works. So.
Okay. I'm thinking I might end up one of those late episodes, but if I can get it in around like 4 or 5, maybe we'll do it then too.
That works. Yep.
All right, man. Shit. We'll talk some playoff football other than like Detroit football, whatnot. I think we spoke on Dan Campbell enough. He had his press conference. I'll release the whole presser without this, and then I'll release our, I guess, reactions too, or you guys just click on the video, whatever. I don't know if anyone's going to want to watch 2.5 hours of this, but if they do, fucking shouts out to you guys, man. If you guys haven't already, please head over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If not, if you're on Twitch, hit the follow button. Facebook, we on Facebook every once in a while, but YouTube's where it's at for sure, man. Sean, when's that interview with Rise and John? That's gonna be one on YouTube.
That's the one on Instagram. That's at 2:00 tomorrow. Then the Ryan Huff one I'm gonna do on this platform on YouTube Saturday. So stay tuned for that one.
All right, but hey, well, thanks for taking the time. If you guys haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button, and we out.